The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the Command Post Game Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. You know what it is. Dressed in all black like the Omen, which means one of two things. Either we took one on the chin or something bad happened. We got both tonight. Tonight was rough. And I'm not really super upset as much as I am disappointed. Tonight wasn't an upset night because I still see promise in this team. The part that was disappointing was, one, we got banged up tonight pretty rough. Like, Dietrich Wise is done for the season. Austin Eckler is done for the season. John Bates didn't finish the game. Trey Amos left the game, did return. Brandon Coleman left the game, did return. Like, we got beat up tonight physically. That's not good, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I figured out, I think why I'm so at peace with this loss is because I have a better understanding of what this is for me, at least. And I can't confirm nor deny whether or not this is true, but I have a large enough sample size to where I think this is what it is. Two things. On offense, both have to do with the biggest players on that side of the football. You know what this game was? You know, this was a doppelganger of the Philadelphia Eagles game. Week 11, the first time we played the Eagles. You know what that was? That was a Thursday night game. You know what that was? It's a road game. So here's my synopsis. Cliff Kingsbury isn't very good on a short week. You know who else isn't very good on a short week? Jaden Daniels. That is my synopsis. Here's my thought process. The first time we played on Thursday Night Football last year, I chalked it up to, well, Jaden's ribs are in rough shape. He can't run. Oh, if he could run, he would have had a field day on the Eagles. He took what the defense was giving him. He was under duress. I made all these excuses. But you know what? Cliff didn't look good that night either. The biggest difference between that game and this game is that we actually led that game going into the fourth quarter. Why? Because the defense played extraordinary. Not because the offense did anything. The offense was putrid that night. As a matter of fact, the offense had 10 points going into a garbage time drive that they scored a touchdown. And guess what they did? Scored a 2-point conversion. You know how many points we scored that night? I'll give you one guess. Just one guess as to how many points we scored that night. You got the answer yet? Did you write it down on a piece of paper? Show me the paper. Yep. 18 points. Garbage time touchdown, 2-point conversion, make you feel good about the score when you all know that really wasn't how the game went. But even saying that, for as poorly as we played, for as much as we were dominated tonight, if Matt Gay makes his kicks, this is a different football game. And you could easily say, well, the Packers missed a kick too. They don't even get that kick if Matt Gay makes his kick. They don't even get that attempt off if Matt Gay makes his kick. In my mind, if he makes his kicks, they don't miss a kick. This is a different ball game, and we're having a different conversation. However, I'm not even going to put all of the onus on Matt Gay on the 58-yarder. Now, he missed the 52-yarder. Matt Gay ain't shit. We got another bullshit-ass kicker is what we have. We're going to have to rectify this in the offseason. Like, he's on a 1-year deal, so it is what it is. Whether he makes it through the season or not, I can't say. That guaranteed money isn't enough for him to continue to screw us around and lose us football games. So I don't give a shit about most guaranteed money on a 1-year deal. F that shit. That $4 million can kick rocks. If he can't make a 52-yard field goal, he got to get the hell out of here. Pack his ass up. But the execution for the second week in a row In the 2-minute drill, DQ talks about late game execution, end of the half, winning time moments. We really got to nail it. Well, you didn't nail shit 2 weeks in a row late in the first half. 2 weeks in a row, you let us down with your late first half execution. Last week, we didn't even get an attempt off because of the bullshit you guys pulled, burning your last timeout because we burnt 2 timeouts earlier in the first half, so we didn't have them to even use. And then you burnt the last timeout too damn early and then called a damn design quarterback draw. The hell are you doing? With no timeouts? You lost your mind? This week, you got all 3 of your timeouts. And you don't use not a single one of them hoes. Not one. What, you think you're going to get an extra point at halftime for the amount of timeouts you have left? Then you're going to tack that on to your score? We were at midfield at the 2-minute warning. How is it that we end up kicking a 58-yard field goal with 3 timeouts left and you ran the ball twice? What are we doing? There was no sense of urgency. It felt like you were saying, well, we're just going to make sure Green Bay doesn't get a chance to kick a field goal, and we're going to kick a field goal. Yeah, you like that? We're going to leave this half with points, and they're not. Except you got to get closer because you got a kicker that didn't make a 50-yard field goal last year. Does that not resonate with you? Clearly it did not. Clearly it did not. They bungled the clock at the end of the first half. For the second week in a row, we wasted 2 second-half timeouts. In a game that you're trailing, you're going to need all your timeouts. I don't even know what happened to the first timeout. We called a timeout on offense, and I'm like, why did we just call a timeout? What's going on here? That was after the Jaden hit where he got spilled over after he was running from Micah Parsons, and I was like, maybe Jaden got hurt. Maybe they had to give him a chance to get his bearings. I don't know, because they weren't showing us, and all of a sudden, we called a timeout. What are we doing? Huh? Somebody fall on the ground with a calf, with a cramp. Somebody, why are we calling a timeout? What are we doing? And these officials got to get this shit right with the whole standing in the goddamn way. They running dudes off with 7 seconds. Come on, man. We can't have this shit, man. I don't know when we ran our guys off and what, but that's too vague of language. They got to fix that shit in the offseason. The other team gets a reasonable amount of time. That's bullshit. You can't be running dudes off at a leisurely pace with 7 seconds left on the damn play clock, and we got to call the timeout because of that shit. Man, if you don't give us a new goddamn clock behind that shit. Anyway, Cliff Kingsbury has shown me now in 2 games, and this is a large enough sample size for me. He is not a great play caller, nor is he prepared well enough on a short week. Jaden Daniels is a guy that loves to prepare. He's a stickler for attention to detail. He's in early. He stays late. He likes to be over-prepared. So when the moment comes, he knows exactly what he has to do. That's why he idolizes Kobe Bryant, because that was a guy who worked tirelessly to be prepared for every situation. You know what you don't get to do on a short week? You don't get to over-prepare. This is the second time. To me, the 2 worst Jaden Daniels games I've ever watched both came on a short week on a Thursday night on the road against quality opponents. You tell me I'm tripping, because I don't feel like I'm tripping right now. You tell me that Cliff Kingsbury looked like he was prepared. We didn't run the football until the 3rd possession of the game. Like, what are we doing? And I love Eck to death. You know what's coming, right? I always tell you, when you start with love and you give a compliment, but there's a conjunction coming. You know what's coming after that conjunction. I love me some Austin Eckler, and I wish he didn't get hurt. That hurts us a lot. Now, all you see, Rod stands, his ass is about to be active for the rest of the season. We're probably going to have to go out and go get some running back help. Or maybe they're going to bring back Demetric Felton. Yay! Anyway, I was sick of Austin Eckler being in the game. Like, at some point, I'm like, why is Eck here in the game right now? What does he do for us? It's 3rd and 1, and Eck is in the game. Now, he got the first down. He fought his ass off. Bill was the better runner tonight. You want proof? I'm not saying that Bill was out here killing shit, but you want proof? Because I can give you proof. Nobody had a great game on the ground, but Bill wasn't even allowed to. That's the shit that frustrated me. Austin Eckler, 8 carries, 17 yards. That ain't it, bro. Bill, 4 carries, 17 yards. That's over 4 yards a pop. I know my eyes weren't deceiving me tonight. He just never got a shot. I can't explain why. We were never getting blown out of this game to the point where the run game had to go away and die. That was never a thing. We were never down more than 14 points in this game until it was too late to run the ball. At that point, when it's 27-10, then now it's too late. But it was 14-3 for the longest time. For the longest time. And you just kept putting Jaden back there. Kept putting Austin Eckler's ass in the game. And I'm like, where's Bill? Where's my guy? Where's the only dynamic back that we have? Why is he not touching grass right now? Again, I thought the coaching was subpar at best tonight. Substitutions. You want to talk about substitutions? I'm bitching about Bill not getting enough carries. The game is on the line, guys. This is your last gasp. This is it. This is it. The game will be over. This is it. If you don't convert this 4th down, this game is over. You know who they have on the field? Like, I don't give a shit who's tired. If you got to call it, like, the game's over if you don't convert this 4th down. What do we do? You're throwing a slant to Jalen Lane? That's what you got with the game on the line? With Luke McCaffrey split out wide on the other side? Have you lost your mind? What is this? What was the staff doing tonight? They were lunching tonight. Did you guys leave your brains back in Ashburn? Did you forget to pack those? Like, seriously, what were we doing as a staff tonight? I thought we dropped the ball. I don't think the offense was prepared to play tonight. This whole notion of, yeah, we were preparing for Green Bay during the preseason when we were preparing for the Giants. I can't tell. I can't tell that you prepared for Green Bay. It looked like you cut and paste the same playbook and the same game plan that the Lions used last week, and unsuccessfully, I may add. Looked like you cut and paste the same damn game plan that didn't work the week before. Help me. I'm at a loss. There were no Jaden designed runs early in the game, nothing to keep them honest. There was one play where it's read option, and if Jaden keeps it, I'm not sure he didn't score a touchdown. Lucas Van Ness tackles the running back. He never looked at Jaden. He treated Jaden like he was Jared Goff. Ran right by him and went and tackled the run. I'm like, Jaden, bro, what are you doing? Do I need to hit the Seinfeld? What is up with that? Like, what are we doing? Seriously, somebody help me. It's like we were in the Twilight Zone tonight. But again, I'm chalking this up to Thursday night behavior. That's what I'm going to call this. This is Thursday night behavior. Every time we go on the road on a Thursday night, this is the behavior. This is the move right here. Cliff looks unprepared. Jaden looks unprepared. We look as a team unprepared. Defensively, we fight our guts out, but it's not enough because the offense doesn't show up. Green Bay's a really good team too. Like, let's not forget that. It's not like we came out here and we lost to the Little Sisters of the Poor. When we saw the schedule, we all said that this was a tough game. We all said it was a tough game. I initially had this as a loss, but you know how it is. You know, that's why we're fans. You get to the game, you're coming off of a win, and you expect to play better. I won't pick this team to win on Thursday night again till they show me differently. This is who we are. This is Thursday night behavior right here. So until they show me that they can actually put together a competent game plan in 4 days and execute, Thursday nights just aren't our thing. And I would prefer it if you kept us off of Thursday night on the road. Maybe, and I got my fingers crossed. Maybe, just maybe, it'll be different if we're actually at home for once on Thursday night. Maybe. I got my fingers crossed. We play the Cowboys on Christmas Day. That's a Thursday. I got my fingers crossed that it'll be different next time because we're at home and we get to sleep in our own beds. And I don't know if that shit's going to make a difference. I really don't. But I got my fingers crossed. Hope it comes to fruition. Prove me wrong. But until they do, this is Thursday night behavior. Luckily enough for us, we don't have many more of these Thursday night pieces of shit games. So we don't have to do this very often anymore because we don't thrive. We barely survive on Thursday nights. This is not a good look for us. But back to the drawing board. The beauty of a Thursday night game is now you got time to lick your wounds, to go back to the drawing board, to figure out what you did wrong, what you can do better moving forward. Get healthy. That's, man, I assume this injury report next week is going to look like a laundry list. Jaden Daniels is probably going to be up there, and not for his right wrist, probably for his, right ankle. And, Brandon Coleman is probably going to be up there for his left shoulder. And, Trey Amos is probably going to be up there for his, right shoulder. And it's going to read like a bad movie script. This injury report that we see next Wednesday. It's going to be brutal. I'm not looking forward to it. But the only silver lining is that there's extra time for guys to get the treatment they need, get their bodies back up to speed, and be ready for the Raiders next Sunday. But boy, it was rough. Tonight was not only a poor showing, but it was also just tough on an injury front for this team. I liken this game in my mind, and again, this is what you do. You play mental gymnastics when shit doesn't go well, when you expected them. And, in the back of my mind, I said, how it went the last time on a Thursday, but I was like, we're better now. We went through the fire. Now we're a much better team. But Thursdays are Thursdays. We're a much better team on a Monday night. We're a much better team on a Saturday night. We're a much better team on a Sunday night. We've proven that. We have not proven that we're a better team on Thursday night than what we saw tonight. That's the second year in a row we've looked like pure ass on offense on a Thursday night on the road. No more excuses. That's what it is. Until you guys fix it, that's who we are on a Thursday night. Something else that was really frustrating, but I wish I could say here that I didn't tell you so, but I told you so. I said, what did I tell you I was most afraid of with the Green Bay Packers all week? I told you that today, multiple times. I did 2 videos today. I told you multiple times in those 2 videos, and I've been saying it all week. I am mortified of the Green Bay Packers tight ends because we haven't covered a tight end since 2005. That's the last time we've covered a tight end with competency. 2005, when we had real safeties and linebackers that weren't as slow as dirt. That's the last time we covered a linebacker, was 2005. We ain't covered one since. So anytime we see a linebacker with any kind of skill, we're going to get cooked. And I knew it, and I kept saying it, and I was hoping to be wrong. Hey, Kane Madrano, I'm talking to you. Get your ass in gear. All right, Jordan McGee, I'm talking to you. Get your ass in gear. Any of these linebackers that can run, figure this shit out, Joe Witt Jr. Because Bobby Wagner running with anybody up the seam ain't it. I don't give a shit if he's in cover 2, cover 3. Man, I don't want to see Bobby Wagner's ass 25 yards pointing to somebody like, hey, the tight end running up the seam. Well, that's because he can't keep up with him. We got to do something about this shit, man. This was atrocious tonight. Tucker Kraft had a career night. Most receiving yards by a Packer tight end since 2015. That's a decade ago, y'all. When is this shit going to end? When are we going to be the Giants' most success last week? When they didn't throw it to Malik Neighbors, went to who? The tight ends. Bellinger and Theo. If Theo Johnson could catch, he would have had 3 or 4 more catches last week. Not saying that they would have been highly productive, but nonetheless, it would have been more catches to the tight end. We stink covering tight ends. We couldn't cover a damn tight end to save our life last year. It's 1st and 25, guys. I can't make this shit up. First, they had a holding penalty that set them back. Then they had a false start penalty. And on 1st and 25, they get 20 to the tight end. Why? He turned Quan Martin around like the man was in a damn blender. He put him in the ninja, bro, and hit the damn blend button. Quan was turning around and shit. I'm like, Twan, bro, what the was that? That's a tight end, bro. That ain't a receiver. That's a tight end. Wowzers. But I said all of that to say this. Nothing has changed for me. Everything I went into the game knowing about this team, I still feel like I know about this team. We couldn't cover the tight end. The one thing that was really disappointing is that's the second week in a row the coaching staff has not handled game situations well. That's not something we really dealt with last year. This is a little bit foreign to me. I'm becoming just a tad bit concerned. They've built up enough equity with me to where I'm not just going to erase everything that they've done, but I am starting to be concerned that you guys aren't getting it this year because this is the second week in a row that you've effed up late first half situations. And this is the second week in a row we've burned our second half timeouts needlessly. So again, I'm starting to become a little concerned, but I'm not going to blow it out of proportion. You're going to be forced to put Bill in the game now with the Eckler injury. So I'm not going to trip about that and him not getting enough touches because it's going to happen now. I didn't want it to happen this way, but Bill's the best back in that room. And now they're going to be forced to give him opportunities to prove that over the rest of this season. I'm not mad at it. I'm not glad at it. Not this way because it was going to happen anyway, but I'm not mad at it. All right. What did I tell you about the run defense? I said the run defense was the one thing. I asked the Kings, what's the one thing you can take away from the game? And Rico said, man, it's the pass rush. I know we're going to be able to get. I was like, I don't know about the pass rush getting to the quarter. I think that was more of a Giants thing. Here's what I do know. We're going to stop the run. We stopped the run tonight. Josh Jacobs had 23 carries for 84 yards. That's less than 4 yards a pop. If your running back wants to run it almost a quarter of 100 times, right, and not get to 90 yards, hey, sign me up for one of those. Sign me up for 3.4 yards a carry. Yep, I'll do that. Sign me up. Sure will. He didn't have any explosive runs tonight. He earned everything. He worked hard. They even had to spread us out. His best run came from when they absolutely went damn near empty. They spread us out. He was the only guy in the backfield, and it was a creative. I told you, Matt LaFleur, he's good. Matt LaFleur is good. That possession after we cut it to a one-score game was a masterclass. He went into his bag and said, "Oh, I got some shit, man. Let me pull out Savion Williams on a direct snap, right? Fake it to Jordan Love on a pitch back and run the bitch around the corner." Like, he went into his bag. Took it down the field and got it in the end zone. Made it look easy, too. Anyway, I know we can count on the run defense. I don't know if we can count on much else. Marshawn Lattimore, rough night. That wasn't good. Trey Amos is our best corner, whether we like it or not. He's our best corner. He left the game for a spell there. Just a tiny bit of time. You know what Matt LaFleur did immediately? Not immediately. Immediately. You know what Matt LaFleur did when this man left the game? He targeted. This man went to a jumbo formation to the left. Isolated Mikey Sainristil, that would have been Trey Amos, all the way to his right by himself with Romeo Doubs. and just ran a slant. He crossed him up. Mikey had no shot. You got no chance. That's what you got. He had no shot. No shot. That's coaching. That's what they did to us last week. The minute Mikey came out of the game and it was Noah Igbenogany, they went at him not once, but twice in a row. They saw Trey Amos, who broke up the play on the first possession. Thank God for Trey Amos. They saw he was out of the game. We got barbecue chicken outside. Hey, get your napkins. Let's eat. We got barbecue chicken outside. Let's eat. Marshawn Lattimore was either a penalty or a catch tonight. We may have to come to grips with the fact that old Marshawn ain't coming back. Now, I will say this. I'm not down on him to the point where he's Benjamin St. Nah, shut that shit up. He's way better than Benjamin St. Juice or any of them bullshit-ass corners we had last year. Here's what we got to do. Here's what Joe Witt has to realize. He can't have Marshawn old ass running back and forth across the line of scrimmage. We playing man. Y'all going to have to pass that shit off. They killed us. And, like, it's a copycat league. If I'm watching the film, I'm like, oh, they playing man? All right, we're going to send your ass back and forth in motion. And he's going to, like, he didn't do a good job of navigating traffic tonight. He took the lazy route. Instead of him fighting underneath on the mesh concept, he ran over top of the shit. Wide open Romeo Dubs on a shallow cross. Like, what, bruh? What are you doing? Motion, speed cut, wide ass open. Like, the first play after the offense, who ain't had shit going all night, scratching and clawing, right? They finally get in the end zone. It's 17-10. All right, defense, I know you've been pulling in this game of tug of war. You've been pulling the hell out of rope. You got a bunch of rug burns on your hands. I know it's tough. I need you to pull one more time, though. Come on. Just one more. Give it back to Jaden one more time. And they was like, nope. And they started with a play that they had run first play of the game. Marshawn Lattimore in motion, right? Sending Romeo Dubs. I think this time it was Dontavian Wicks in motion. Speed cut. 12 yards. Let's get this shit going. And we couldn't stop it after that. It was like the Energizer Bunny. They just kept going and going and going until they got in the end zone. It was a rough night for him. I'm not giving up on him, but Joe Witt's got to figure out how can we be better when we can't have him running across the field like that. That clearly he's not that guy anymore. Like, I looked at these Packer receivers and said, we should be playing press coverage with these dudes except for Matthew Golden, who smoked us, by the way, and Jordan Love missed him. It could have been a lot worse tonight. They had a touchdown to Jaden Reed, negated due to a holding penalty, which we forced, right? Like, that wasn't an unforced error. We forced that. But that still was a touchdown. And then Matthew Golden is running free for a touchdown. Ran right past the safety, past the corner. He just missed him. Defense fought tonight, but they also got their asses kicked too, except for the run game. So I still think this secondary has a chance to be really good, but we got to find a way to mitigate our weaknesses. And if you're going to play man coverage, we got to figure out a better way to communicate and bump some of this shit. Like, it took us 3 full quarters for him to be running in motion and say, hey, communicate with Mikey. Hey, just you pop out there and get that dude. I'm going to just take the guy in the slot. And Jordan Love almost got sacked on the play because you communicated and the guy he wanted to throw the football to wasn't open because you weren't trailing by 15 yards on the play. Like, can we just do the simple shit and not take 3 quarters to just make an adjustment? I feel like the shit shouldn't be this hard. We got to find a way to cover the tight end, man. This shit is bad. You know Brock Bowers plays for the Raiders, right? You are aware of this. I don't know if he's playing this week. You better pray he plays this week, re-aggravates whatever is bothering him, and doesn't play next week. Because you do realize Brock Bowers plays for the Vegas Raiders, right? I'm not sure if you're aware of this. We ain't seen a tight end that didn't kick our ass yet. Kyle Pitts ain't shit no more. Well, he looked like a goddamn Pro Bowl tight end against our ass last year. 4th and goal from like the 17 and shit like that. We see him in week 4. We better figure this shit out and figure it out fast. Brock Bowers will have 200 yards receiving against us next week if we can't figure out how to stop the goddamn tight end. They got 2 in Vegas, by the way. Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers. So if one of these dudes ain't working, the other one will be. We better figure this shit out and fast. You got 10 days to figure out how to stop a tight end from digging in your ass. No pause. Anyway, I digress. We're going to get to a word from one of our sponsors. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get to the comment section and see what you guys are talking about. Let's get to the skill game, brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right, so let's get to the Sleeper app. And it was not a good night for the kid, as you could imagine. Let's take a look at my picks. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that focuses on bringing people together through sports and gaming. I absolutely love this app. I've told you guys about this so many times. This is such a fun addition to my game watching experience. Even when shit wasn't going well tonight, I could turn on my app and see if there was still a way for me to get a dub tonight, because clearly the fellas weren't going to do it on the field. Could I still get a dub on the Sleeper app? You know, and sometimes there's a silver lining that can still be achieved. And so, unfortunately for me tonight, no, there was no dub, for the kid. It just wasn't going to happen, right? And that's okay, too. You're not going to win all of them, right? Just like you're not going to win every game in the season. We weren't going to go 17-0. I'm not going to win every, all the picks that I make. So let's take a look at the picks I made tonight. So had Terry for a receiving touchdown. He was close, down there. 5 catches, 48 yards for Terry. He's starting to get into a rhythm with Jaden, but they're still not quite there yet. I thought he was going to score. I did think he was going to score tonight. And it just didn't happen. And some of that is on Jaden, too. I didn't think he looked comfortable at all tonight for whatever reason. So that didn't come through for the kid. Jaden, all he needed to do was pass for a yard. We knew that was going to happen, so that was an easy gimme. McManus, I knew he was going to make 2 field goals. He did. I rarely miss with the kickers. That's something that I always hit on. I looked at Josh Jacobs. I thought we'd get more pressure on Jordan Love because I thought we'd stop the run, and then we'd fluster Love a little bit. He'd check it down. They'd throw a screen or 2 to Josh Jacobs. It never happened. They never were in a position where they had to do something that they didn't want to do. We never made them uncomfortable. Even though they didn't score a bunch of points tonight, we never truly made them uncomfortable on offense to the point where he had to dump it down to the running back. Like Jaden had to dump it down a couple of times just out of sheer fear. Like, oh shit, they're coming. Hot potato, you take it, right? We never did that to Jordan Love. So he didn't. I should have just took the anytime touchdown with Josh Jacobs. The man scored in 9 games, now 10 straight games. I overthought it. Is what I did. You're just doing too much here, bro. Matt Gay, God, he stinks. You stinking son of a bitch. Golly. 6.5, bro. I said he was going to make 3 field goals tonight. He had 3 field goal attempts. He made 1. Man, he stinks. God, he stinks. That should have been an easy layup. And then Bill, I'm still flummoxed as to how he only got 4 carries tonight. 4 carries, 17 yards, 18 yards, really. And I'm still flummoxed as to how he only got 4 carries tonight. I never felt like the Packers truly stopped him. Felt like every carry he got was a productive one. And you just needed to keep giving him the ball and seeing what, because clearly Jaden didn't have his fastball tonight. Clearly Cliff didn't have his fastball. So let's not see what's wrong with seeing if the young fella could pop something, catch the Packers defensively napping. Nope. We're going to just put it in Jaden's hands. We're going to empty the set. We're going to keep leaving Josh Connolly Jr. by himself. I said, this man needs a babysitter at all times. When Michael Parsons is the baby, he needs a babysitter at all times. Josh Connolly Jr. is a 21-year-old rookie right tackle who has never played right tackle in his life. And we asked him to make the conversion, and he's going up against the premier edge rusher in the NFL, and you just leave him by himself? Whose idea was that? And you're not going to run the ball at all to give him something else to have to think about? You're just going to keep throwing the football and letting Micah just rush? And I thought one of the most irresponsible things of the night was Jaden letting the play clock run all the way down to 1, snapping the ball. Like, that is a pass rusher's dream. You got to snap the ball. I can jump the snap count now. You got to snap the ball or call a timeout or it's a delay of game. And what did Michael Parsons do? Jump the hell out of that snap, get in the backfield, and produce a holding and a half a sack. You're trying to get sacked, bro. What are we doing? What we didn't do, I know this much, we didn't give it to Bill tonight. And that was some bullshit. So, yeah, the picks weren't hitting for me tonight. I deserve to lose. The Josh Jacobs one alone was negligent. I should have just been an anytime touchdown. And that should have been that. Thought Terry would score tonight. Matt Gay should have hit his, and I'm disappointed that Bill didn't get more touches. So I'll be back. I'll be back. And I will hit. You see what it says up here? 3 contests won, $239.60 netted. Look, I'm still up right now. I still got more money to burn, baby. Burn, baby, burn like Disco Inferno. And I will win more. I will be back. And I will win. And y'all gonna win with me. You know how? You're gonna download the app. Down in the description of this video, you will find a link. Click that link, download the Sleeper app, use my promo code LTN to get you 100% match on a deposit up to $100. That's right, a 100% match on up to $100. That means if you put in $100, they're going to give you an additional $100 to spend on the app. What more could you want? It don't take much on this app either. You've seen what I've been able to put together. It don't $10 bet, depending on how you freak it, could get you $300. It don't take much. What are you waiting on? Join the Sleeper team and get like me. Let's have some fun. And as I've said to you before, you got a chance with this app to turn every day into payday. So let's get to big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. Let's get back to business and talk to you guys about the game. See how you guys are feeling. I've said enough. You guys know how I feel. Now let's see how you guys feel. So let's talk. Video channel starts us off. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Video channel writes, Lou, LaFleur owns DQ. Wide receiver separation non-existent. Run game abandoned from first snap. Joe Witt Jr. not playing match on motions until late. 5 got beat up. This is why preseason is important. These boys needed the reps. I don't know if that was going to change anything. Nobody gets reps in the preseason, so we can't blame that on not getting reps. Matt LaFleur's group didn't get reps in the preseason all that much. Like, you're not wrong. Everything you said is facts, except for the part about the preseason reps. Like, that's dead. That's a lost art. Nobody's really, putting their guys out there in the preseason. Because you know what you would be screaming if somebody got hurt in the preseason? Why was he out there? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. But I will say this, maybe that is a thing. Styles make fights, and maybe Matt LaFleur, who coached under DQ, maybe he knows a thing or two about how to go up against a Dan Quinn coach defense, because he made him look like horse shit in Dallas when Dallas had one of the best defenses in the league that year in terms of forcing turnovers. And he ran it up in the playoff game. And then even though the score may not indicate it, they did whatever the hell they really wanted to do tonight, other than run the football. They didn't do that all that successfully tonight. Maybe that's a thing, because 2 of their drives were 90-plus yard drives for touchdowns. Like, what? First of all, I talked about this because we're going to talk about all the bad tonight. Let me get some of the good out of the way first before we get into all the bad stuff, because I know it's coming. So let me do this right now. Silver lining. I thought special teams was fantastic tonight, outside of Matt Gay, of course. The coverage unit was fantastic. The Packers did next to nothing on the coverage side, the return side of things. I thought Jalen Lane had some excellent punt returns tonight. Debo had an excellent return tonight, right? To the point where they started kicking the ball. They just told Brandon McMahon, hey, just kick that bitch out of the end zone, bro. Don't worry about it. The only way they're going to get back in this game is if Debo or one of these bastards breaks some shit. And they've been kicking our back end tonight on the returns game, on the punt game, on the kick. Let's just kick that shit out the end zone. They said, just let them have it at 35. I thought the punt coverage units were excellent. We got them pinned down. Tressway kicked his ass. He turned the clock. Maybe we need hurt Tressway the rest of the season. He kicked the shit out of the football tonight. And we covered the hell out of these kicks. Percy on one. I don't know who that. I think that was Tyler Owens on another one. I was like, man, we are getting down here and we getting dirty on these boys in the returns game. I was proud of the special teams tonight. They kept us in the game. They did their part. They kept us in the fight as long as they could. Debo, Zach Ertz continue to be two of the better guys. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence. The two guys that were here all summer long, that were out there getting the reps with Jaden, I don't think it's an accident that those are the two guys right now that we can rely on. I don't think that's an accident. I thought that Quan wasn't great in coverage tonight, obviously. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't already know. He got beat several times, including a touchdown that got called back. He got put in the blender by a tight end. It's a rough go of it for Quan all night, but I thought he tackled well. I thought Quan tackled really well. He saved a touchdown on a Josh Jacobs run where everybody else seemed to have Vaseline and WD-40 on their hands. And he seemed to be the only guy that was willing to get him on the ground, right? Trey Amos. He's good. We got us one. Yes. We got us one. It's always refreshing when you can tell very early on, because jury's still out on Josh Connolly Jr. I feel bad for him because this is not a great time to be assessing his play. The man went up against Burns and Thibodeau and Abdul Carter, and then he goes from that to Michael Parsons. And I knew they were going to do this. They put Michael Parsons almost exclusively on his side. They put him on, excuse me, Parsons on they put Parsons on Laramie's side a little bit, but they primarily lined him up over on Connolly's side, and he kicked his ass. I will say the young fella fought. He fought his ass off, but you know, it is what it is. He's getting Max Crosby next week. Like, it's just tough right out of the gates. It's tough. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Hopefully he learns from this. He gets better. And by the time we start seeing the Tulis of the world and the Khalil Macks and the Falcons, whoever the hell they got at pass rusher, by the time we start seeing some of those guys, he'll be more than ready to go. Hopefully that's the case. But Trey Amos is already the real deal. We got that one right. That's a good feeling. The run defense. They're legit. We're legit up front. I think tonight, though, my fears were confirmed. The rushing as a collective group is cool when you're playing against a subpar offensive line and a quarterback that ain't like that. You start playing against better offensive lines and really good play callers and really good quarterbacks. This rushing by committee shit, you need a guy that can win. You see the difference Michael Parsons makes? Like, bro, and I get it. They don't grow on trees. Everybody doesn't have one of those. But you see the difference he makes. We know the difference that TJ Watt makes. Like, we need a guy. We need a dude off the edge. That guy isn't on the roster right now. So thought Jordan Love was too comfortable tonight, but the run defense is legit. Hey, how about the red zone defense? I know it sucks. Josh Jacobs was able to get in the end zone and they were able to throw it into the end zone, but hey, we got to stop again. Hey, how about that? I think this red zone defense is going to be improved this year. I really, truly do. And I talked about that last week. I said, I think this red zone defense is going to be better because we can stop the run a little bit better in the red zone. Dietrich Wise, that shit hurts. That's going to hurt our red zone defense because he is one of those dudes you rely on. And no disrespect to Javonte John Baptiste, but he ain't it. He ain't it. They had him in with the starters because they don't want to mess up the rotation that they had with Vaughn and Jacob Martin coming in, but JJB ain't it. You have to do something else with the starters. And again, you didn't bring Jacob Martin or Von Miller here to be eating and logging a bunch of snaps. That's the same shit that happened with Dante Fowler Jr. last year, but it may have to happen because I'd rather have Von Miller out there or Jacob Martin out there than JBB or JJB. Like, he need to be off the bench and getting, 12 to 15 snaps, not 25 to 30 snaps. I don't need him doing that. So they got to figure that out. But those were all positives to me tonight. Anyway, Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, sorry, meant first half. Malpractice all game, though. I'm assuming you had another super chat. We'll probably get to that one. Somebody will tell me that the supers are in, the earlies are in, and we'll get to that. I'm assuming that is coming from your last super chat, and it'll make sense. Just got to remember the word malpractice. And I'll probably be able to decipher what you were saying when I get to your super chat. No worries. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, C-Mac, writes, hey, Lou. What's up, Chris? 3 questions. 1, how concerned are you about Josh Connolly Jr. facing elite DNs and getting beat, and why? 2, still think we can be 6-2 at the end of October? Need to be either the Chargers or Chiefs. Thoughts? And 3, where are the turnovers? So I can answer these very quickly. 1, no, I am not concerned because this is what I expected. This is baptism by fire. This young fella looked like this was going to happen. And I told y'all in the preseason, I saw poor hand placement. He wasn't moving his feet fast enough. And so he's going to end up in some of these spots. I saw some reps against Michael Parsons where he actually held his own and did really well. Like, he's just going to have to continue to get better. And the only way you get better is by getting reps. And sometimes you got to get your ass whooped to get better. And that's what's happening. So here's when I will become concerned. When we keep going through the season and he's not making any progress. And then he starts losing reps to guys that aren't Michael Parsons, that aren't like, when you got one of them ones at tackle. I don't think he's one of them ones at tackle. But I think he could be Morgan Moses. I think he can be a really good, solid NFL right tackle. He's not Tristan Wirfs. We didn't just hit a home run. He's not Christian Darrisaw. We didn't just hit a home run in the first round. That's apparent. That's apparent. But what he can be is a starting caliber right tackle. You may not want to hear that, but who wouldn't take a Morgan Moses, a reliable guy that you can count on the right side of your offensive line that doesn't miss games? I think he can be that. He's not Trent Williams. He's not Laramie Tunsil. We didn't just draft a generational talent at tackle. Keep in mind, we got him at the back end of the first round. You want one of those guys that I'm talking about? Christian Darrisaw, Tristan Wirfs, one of these elite tackles, you got to get one of them in the top 15. I think Darrisaw might have been slightly out of the top 15 that year. We had a chance to get him. But ultimately, it is what it is. Yes, I still think we can be 6-2 at the 8-week mark. We can beat the Chargers. This game didn't change anything for me as far as my expectations for this team. It didn't change anything. The injuries, those could recalibrate some things if I look at this team in week 3 against the Raiders and the run defense starts to suffer because I'm going to watch the Raiders. I'm going to watch a lot of football this weekend because I don't have to worry about the Commanders. I don't have to work. So I'm going to watch a lot of football. The Raiders could not run block to save their life against the Patriots in week 1. They got their asses whooped. Geno Smith, they ran a lot of games in week 1, did the Patriots against the Raiders, and Harold Landry had 2.5 sacks off that same shit we doing. Activity, games up. The Raiders' offensive line stinks. Geno Smith is a beast, though. That's the difference. He's going to get that bitch off. You can hit him in the mouth, and he's still going to deliver the rock. And they have a tight end. You should be concerned. You should be concerned. I am. But I expect to beat them. I expect to beat the Falcons. Nothing's a guarantee in this league. And we can compete with the Chargers. I expect us to beat teams that last year, during the regular season, early in the year, but you got to remember, this team is going to get better as the season wears on. This team's going to get better. So I still think 6-2 is very plausible. We don't know what the Chiefs are going to be this year. If they lose to Philadelphia, they're 0-2. They could be in some trouble. By the time they get to us, they may not be the same Chiefs team. Chargers, same thing. I expect them to win this week. They're playing the Raiders on Monday Night Football, but who knows? It's family business. Anything could happen. By the time they get to us, they might be struggling and reeling. Who knows? You never know. Yeah, I'm still banging on us being 6-2. Or at least 5-3, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? And then, where are the turnovers? I already told you before the season started, I didn't think this was going to be any different. I didn't see a team in the preseason that was forcing turnovers. I don't see a team. The ball is not life, okay? Ball is not life with this team. Ball is not life. So, in my mind now, I don't go into games looking for turnovers. Just don't turn it over offensively. That's like, we'll have a game, we'll run into somebody that is negligent. I will say this. I'm seeing a lot more guys punching at the ball. Our punches suck, by the way. We have no accuracy. It's like we're punching just to punch, but at least they're punching. At least they're doing that. But we don't have guys that have a knack for, like, I watched Jacksonville and Foye Oluokong. This guy has the most impeccable peanut punch. Like, it was crazy. Bryce Young is going to the ground and he just punched the bitch out. Then he's always around the ball. Ball's tipped in there. He dives and picks it off. He had 2 turnovers he forced by himself last Sunday. We don't have a guy that just has a knack for forcing turnovers. We just don't. So, ball isn't life. Don't look for it. It'll happen when you least expect it. I'm not even going to ask for them shits no more. I'll just be surprised when we get them. That's it. I'm not asking for them shits no more. We weren't even close to getting a turnover tonight. The ball wasn't on the ground. Jordan Love was never under duress or distressed, and he never put the ball in harm's way. Zach Miner. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zach Miner says, you run the ball on the road. I don't disagree. We never gave Bill a shot. We put Jaden out there just like we did in the NFC Championship game and said, go win us the game, big boy. Go get us this win, big fella. That's no way to live. Run the football, man. You didn't even try to run the ball tonight. That shit was frustrating. You didn't even try to run the ball tonight. Alex Bonfield, been a member for 35 months. Right? I'm not mad that, other than the injuries, this is the kind of game that lights a fire under their ass. I expect 5 to explode next week versus the Raiders. I'm not tripping about tonight's performance. I'm more disappointed at the lack of I'm disappointed at the lack of game management by the staff. I'm disappointed at the fact that this is who we are on Thursday. This is Thursday night behavior for us. So I'm no longer surprised, and I'm no longer picking us when we play on Thursday nights, especially if we're on the road. Like, I got my fingers crossed that maybe at home it'll be different, but fat chance. At this point, it feels like unless Cliff and Jaden have a full week of work, this is what you're going to get. And if that's the case, that's really disappointing. But the run defense is still good. We still have talented football players. We still got Terry. We still got Debo. We still got, Jalen Lane, who didn't have a great night tonight as a receiver. He was really good as a returner. We still got Zach Ertz. Noah Brown. He was awful tonight. Golly, Noah Brown was awful tonight. He could use the extra time off too. He's still getting back into his timing and but timing and rhythm ain't got shit to do with your hands. You got the ball out here and you let the dude poke it out of your hands. Move the shit, right? You got it? Now move it. He's going to try to poke it out of your hand. Debo had to do the same shit last week. He had it here and the defender tried to punch it and he had to move the shit. Terry caught it against the Ravens last year in the back of the end zone when he snatched it. The defender tried to punch it. He had to move the shit. Move the goddamn ball. He just had the shit here. I'm a statue. I got the ball. No, you don't. Give me them shits. And then the best throw of the night from Jaden, back shoulder fade. This man, his arms were like this wide open. The ball went straight. Like, guy, what are you like? But you got to remember, that's Noah Brown. What are we doing? Stop throwing back shoulder fades to Noah Brown, would you? Would you stop doing that? Throw that shit to Terry. Don't throw that to Noah Brown. We'll see if they bounce back next week against the Raiders or not. Mike Lake, this ain't the same Raiders. That was on, that we would have loved to have had on the schedule from last year. This is a different Raiders team. They're a professional outfit under Pete Carroll. That's going to be a tough one. Mike Lake, been a member for 40 months. Salute to you. Sometimes you the bug and sometimes you the windshield. Tonight we were the bug. Yep, that's a good one. Yep, sometimes you the bug. Sometimes you the windshield. We were definitely the bug tonight. My guy, Derek B., thank you for being a member for 48 months. Celebrate 4-year anniversary. Says, give me back the DQ who knew his defense was trash. Oh, you're assuming going forward on 4th down and being aggressive? Tonight wasn't the night for that. We would have thrown up all over ourselves, and this game would have gotten way more out of control had he been aggressive on 4th down. Now, I will say the DQ that knew the offense had to carry the team and be the catalyst, he seemed like he handled the game management portion a lot more aggressively and smarter, right? Again, I'm not assuming that because the defense is better, he's slacking. Right. But clearly they're not as sharp right now as they were last year. This is the worst game management we've seen from this group. The biggest gripe I had all of last year was the Dallas game, the first Dallas game. I thought he respected Mike McCarthy and company way too much. Like those are his buddies or, oh man, I know they're really good. So I just thought he was really, really conservative in that. That was my biggest complaint. If that's your biggest complaint, you had a really good season. We've had 2 awful game management games to start the season off. 2 awful game management games back to back. I don't know if we had one game where we had awful game management. We had little pockets where it might have not been satisfactory, but full games, I don't know if we had one, let alone 2 in a row. They got some self-scouting to do over this little mini bye. I know that. They better get their asses in gear. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I'm not bummed out about the loss like many others are. Respect to a solid team in the Packers. They're a good football team. Forget about solid. That's a good football team. That's a Super Bowl contending team right there that we played tonight. But what kills me are the season-ending injuries. Wise and Eckler were integral parts of our team. Facts. I think we can overcome the Eck one because I think Bill can. I don't like the catching aspect that Eck brings to the table. I don't think you can duplicate that. Right? You can't. There's no replacing that. But this might force them to put him in the game. I just hope they don't do no stupid shit like put Jeremy McNichols in the game now And he's starting off games and shit like that. I just hope they don't do some dumb shit like they still trying to treat Bill like he's a rookie and they trying to keep the bubble wrap on him. Like, turn this man loose. That'll really piss me off. But I think the one we're gonna miss more is Dietrich Wise. He had a specific role and he played the shit out of that role. And he was going to be a problem up front for teams trying to stop us from getting to like collapsing the pocket and stopping the run. And he was such a smart football player. We just watched film the other day and you see him just seeing shit. His mind's working. He gets it. Eckler's career is done. You know, he was already getting towards the twilight of his career as a running back. And to to rupture your Achilles, first of all, that's a harder injury to come back from than a ACL. And at this point of your career, yeah, this is it for Eckler. He's done. We got to find out the status of John Bates. You want to talk about a blow. If something's significantly wrong with him, Lord have mercy. This was a rough game, not just because of the loss. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. As I said, double up. Thank you for doubling up with rights. Louie, is it too late to trade Lattimore to the Eagles for Zadarius Smith? They need a corner, and we need a replacement for Wise. Clowney season ain't it for me. You know, Clowney about to sign with the Dallas Cowboys, right? So that well has dried up too. No, I mean, somehow Marshawn Lattimore would probably be really good with the Eagles. And I haven't given up on him, by the way, just so we're clear. He played well last week even though he had some penalties, he played well against Malik Neighbors last week. If he can do that against Neighbors, I still got confidence in him. You can't have him running all around the field like that. He can't do that shit no more. They're going to have to figure out a better way to go about motions and shit. And you know what? That's a good thing that it happened because, again, that's going to, I think, force them to self-scout. And it's going to force them to have to make some adjustments on this motion shit because you can't have Marshawn Lattimore running across the formation. Seemed like he was the only dude having to do that shit too, right? Like how many times we see Trey Amos running back and forth we never did. He stayed right on that side of the field. They got to figure out, this shit. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? DQ too conservative. Lat cooked by wide receiver fives. Terry played like wide receiver 5. Matt Gay flying southwest to his next destination. C-Rod and D. Edwards get ready. It's C-Rod. I don't think Donovan Edwards factors into this. I forgot he was even here, but it's a good thing that he is here because I think I said earlier, I'm excited about, Demetric Felton. I'm actually very excited about Donovan Edwards, but like he's not the X factor or a difference maker right now. We need Bill to get more opportunities. That's to me the biggest focus if you're talking running backs. I don't think Terry played like a wide. I'm gonna have to watch the film before I make any declarations about how Terry played or didn't play. Jaden didn't even give him chances on a lot of those footballs. That fade. There was space for Jaden to fit that ball in. He threw shit 2 yards out of bounds. That was Terry supposed to do. On the play where Terry's trying to come back to the ball skips to him. Like, what is he supposed to do? They were squatting on our routes. That's not a Terry McLaurin. That's not a Deebo Samuel. That's not a Noah Brown problem. That's a Cliff Kingsbury problem. Don't let them do that. Don't keep running these simple-ass routes that they can squat on. Threaten their cushion and give them something. We just let them sit there and squat on our routes and jump them shits. So, again, it felt like a lazy game plan. It felt like a cut and paste game plan from the Lions last week. And oh, by the way, their shit wasn't effective. So why would you cut and paste and copy that shit? Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm over Matt Gay. I saw glimpses of a dude who lacked confidence in the preseason. And I was hoping that, he made his last kick of the preseason. He made all his extra points last week. I was hoping that his mind had a chance to clear over those 2 weeks, and he was ready to really, like, the 58-yarder had the distance. I don't give a shit about how far. Hey, you know what? You know who else used to kick the shit out of the ball? Joey Sly. Joey Sly kicked the shit from 65, 70 yards. Shit was rarely accurate. Like, I don't give a shit that it was 58 yards and it had plenty of distance. You didn't make the kick, bro. And you missed from 52. Like, I'm over that, man. I seriously am over him. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Love had answers that I didn't see for Jaden. I agree. It felt like it felt like they were prepared and we weren't. That's what it felt like to me. Felt like they watched film, they knew what they were going to get from us, and they had answers, and we didn't. It's like we just showed up and said, hey, let's roll the ball out. Let's play football. Shit, it's Thursday night. Y'all got the winter whites on. Let's just go out here and play some football. I will say those two colors contrasting against each other looked really good tonight. But it looked like we were just ill-prepared. It did. And now, I would also say, Jaden, he's getting stuck on some of his reads. Like, I saw times where he took sacks where he could have either just dumped it off or been more decisive, like, I'm going to take off and run. But I think there were some answers sometimes for Jaden. It wasn't great answers, but it was an answer nonetheless, and he didn't take it. But, you know, Jordan Love, I felt like definitely had way more options. And how many easy throws did he have tonight? Where motion, and then guys wide open. You know, we didn't do any of that shit. It was just, again, it felt like a lazy game plan they put together. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Swaggy P, writes, I'm so done playing on Thursdays. Me too. Oh, sucked. Had no momentum. Secondary getting torched. Matt Gay, you have one job to do. We didn't look prepared. We passed all game and had no balance. These injuries are killer. On to Vegas. Hashtag raise hell. You said it, brother. You said it, Swaggy P. You just nailed it, bro. I don't even got nothing to add to that shit. On to Vegas, man. I needed that. That sums up the night. The injuries are the ones like, yeah, okay, we lost. It is what it is. It's the injuries where you go, golly, bro. Those linger. Those hurt. There's no replacing a Dietrich Wise. We don't have a guy on the roster that can do that. And I don't want you to call Cleveland Farrell to come back. I don't want you to do that, by the way. I hope he's on someone else's roster. I don't want you to call him back. Timothy Santiago, been a member for 19 months, who writes, felt like a whole different team. Rough night. It did. But the Thursday night thing is real. That's a real thing. So, unfortunately, this is what you get on Thursday night from us. So, yeah, it was a different team. This was the Thursday night crew. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, you were wrong. Ops were better, and it's still shitty. I'm confused. What's ops? I'm confused. If you're going to tell me I'm wrong, hey, look, you got enough to spell shit out. So make it make sense. What are ops? Because I think of ops, I think of opportunities. That's not what you're talking about. So you got to explain what the hell that is, Derek B. Like, you weren't running out of characters, bro. Make sure it makes sense. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, good game, Lou. Not the cleanest game from either team. Hafley is a wizard and future head coach. Yeah, he had us flummoxed tonight. And honestly, Cliff came with his D- game. So he didn't even give Hafley a challenge tonight. JL needs to show more consistency, Jordan Love. He doesn't give his receivers a chance for Yak. He was really good tonight. But there were some throws that if he were, on, Could have been bigger gains. I think about one to Luke Musgrave on when he just broke off our safety and he had to go down to the ground to catch it, which didn't allow him to run after the catch. He missed Matthew Golden for what would have been like a 75-yard touchdown. So yeah, he missed a couple throws, but he also the throw to Heath on the sidelines, like, come on, bro. Like, if you're gonna kill him for missing some of those throws, you also got to give him some credit for some of the joints he threw tonight, because that was a dot. Like, this man was under duress, fading backwards, and threw that bitch, and it landed in the perfect spot. And his receiver, unlike our guy, made a play on the ball. Right? Good game, Kevin. You guys are really good, man. Y'all got a legitimate squad. Y'all haven't seen The Last of Us, though. I'm treating y'all like Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay got us early in the season, and we returned to the scene of the crime in the postseason and exacted a measure of revenge. I guess for us, maybe Lambeau Field is just a house of horrors, and we might not win there ever again in life. I don't know, but we'll see. If we don't get back there in the playoffs, it'll be 40 years next year that we haven't beaten the Packers at Lambeau Field. So that sucks. Frank McLaughlin, my guy. Frankie, baby. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, hey, Lou. Aloha. Aloha, Frankie, baby. This was a tough one. O-line struggled. I wish they went to the no-huddle, fast-paced early. But in order to go to that, Frank, you got to actually get positive plays. You can't go to no-huddle after incompletion. There's no juice. There's no tempo when you're not making plays. That was the problem. We were able to get to the tempo a little bit later in the game because we were getting gains. They were hitting Terry on those little hitches. They were hitting Debo. They were hitting Zach Ertz on those little hitches. So we were getting gains, and you could get into that no huddle. Our tempo wasn't a factor because we weren't getting positive gains. We didn't run the ball. We weren't getting completions. And if we were getting completions, like I said, Jaden Daniels was 4 of 4 for 9 yards. That's the bullshit that we were on at the beginning of the game. Like, you're not beating anybody throwing that horizontal shit. Not, and I said this, that defense is fast. They fly around. You're not gonna hurt them by throwing away. And golly, they made Javon Bullard look like the second coming of Steve Atwater. I don't know, like Troy Polamalu. You can't block him. 2 dudes, let him run right through them and get to Debo on the wide receivers. Like, is anybody gonna block today? No? Optional? Okay. I'm very frustrated with Matt Gay. I'm beyond frustrated with Matt Gay. Like, he can go at this point. He can go. Because I don't see this getting any better with him. Like, he's in his own head. I can see it. So I just don't see it getting better. That's the problem. You're allowed to miss kicks. He's human. But I can see that mentally he's cooked. They need to bring in competition now. I think they will. You got 11 days. I think they're going to bring in competition. Tough game to watch. Eck and Wise on to the next. On to the next for sure, man. For sure. It was tough. Chris Kreider, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chris writes, chat challenge, 1K likes for Lou. Hashtag HTTC 2-1. Well, we got to win the next game to get to 2-1. But I appreciate the challenge to the chat. Y'all heard him. There's well over 1,000 of you out there. If everybody hits the like button, we'll have 1,000 likes. I know that's a tough thing to ask because for some reason, people are allergic to hitting the like button. But if you would so kindly as to just do me a small, minute favor and just hit the like button. Doesn't cost you a thing, takes you less than a fraction of a second, and it helps the channel exponentially. So thank you for that, Chris. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, why didn't we use our timeouts at the end of the first half? Defensively, we couldn't handle pre-snap motion or covering tight ends. Offensively, we looked disorganized. I need to see the all 22s. We all do. It'll be a painful watch, but it's one that we have to do nonetheless. But I'm telling you, this is Thursday behavior. This is Thursday night behavior that we saw tonight. This is Thursday night behavior. It feels like an exercise in futility watching the offense, because you're going to see a lot of vanilla, bullshit ass routes, no creativity. We didn't get any of the creative shit we got from Cliff last week, where we were doing the turnaround handoffs, and Debo was in motion damn near the whole game against the Giants last week. Debo wasn't in motion a ton tonight. Like, there was no creativity. It was just Jaden in the gun, empty set. Like, this was clearly a bullshit ass Thursday night game plan. This looked rushed. This looked like a project that you knew you had 3 months in advance, and you waited to 2 nights before the shit was due. And this is a project that takes weeks to complete, and you waited till 2 nights before to complete the shit. And it looked like you rushed and turned the bitch in. That's what our offense looked like tonight. You knew the Packers was on a Thursday night on week 2. You claim you were working on it. It didn't feel like it. It feel like you put some rush shit together, threw it together, and said, hey, I got a game plan. Went out, tried to execute this shit, and it looked like a game plan that you put together in 2 days. I wish I could give you an answer. I'm just as baffled as to why we didn't use our timeouts at the end of the first half. Why we weren't more aggressive. I'm just as, like, we weren't even aggressive last week against the Giants. That quarterback draw signaled to me that you weren't serious about getting in the end zone. You were content with a field goal. They were content with a field goal tonight. You weren't being aggressive at all. It almost felt like you were defeated before we were even defeated. I didn't love it. Zaydu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zaydu writes, Bowers next week going to torch us. Lattimore's ass. I tried to warn y'all, like, the tight end is a real thing. Y'all probably felt like Louie T putting 100 on top of 10, man. He doing too much. Okay. All right. You feel a lot different about them damn tight ends now, don't you? I don't want to see Brock Bowers in 11 days. Not interested. B-Rad, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. B-Rad writes, I couldn't watch the whole game, but Lattimore, come on, man. Also play calling. Yep. Both of those were not good tonight. Not good. Ryan E. Carbon, been a member for 16 months. Who writes, would love to see the Don get a chance at the 53 now over C-Rod. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. Like, if you're looking for a guy that just got here and a guy that's at the back end of your 53-man roster, if he were to be elevated to take X spot to be an impact player, you got trouble. That Bill is the next guy up. That's the guy we should be focusing in on, giving him more opportunities, because that's the answer right there in front of our face. As far as Bowers and Mayer, overall, it says, and Bowers and Mayer over on all stats next week is easy money. Okay, I got you. I see what you were doing there. Yeah. You know, whatever the receiving total, take more. Take more. Mayer, whatever the catch total is, take more. I wouldn't necessarily touch yards with Mayer. Go get the catches, though. If it's 2.5, go more. Right. Bowers, I don't care what the receiving yard number is. It could be 75. It could be 85. Go more. Yeah, go more. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, at least I know what it looks like to see LMC in the end zone with the ball and not having it be a touchback. Good one. Good one. Did you hear Terry say, yeah, I moved out the way and let you catch that one. I saw what you were doing. He said, yeah, I was trying to get here He's like, yeah, I saw what you was doing, and I just moved out the way. And that was funny. Terry's like, let him have it, bro. He needs a win. Let him have it. I was so happy for him. Hey, remember we were talking about that anytime touchdown for LMC? You was like, hey, it's in God's hands now. He was close. He got in the end zone. Just not the way that person needed him to. It was close, though. Africat 2136. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, cornerback is the hardest position to play. You don't make it more difficult by playing man-to-man against a motion, eye candy offense. Joe put that pride aside. I agree. Cornerback is the absolute. I think quarterback is the hardest position to play. I think cornerback is the second hardest position to play on the field. And asking Marshawn Lattimore to run across the field as much as he did tonight, I think that is malpractice. I think that's malpractice. So, yeah, Joe wants to play man. I like that he wants to play man, but at some point, you just got to say it's not going to work tonight. Not with all this motion and all the shit that they're trying to pull off. We got to figure out. We're just not a great zone team. So it's tough. But as you saw tonight, when we tried to play zone, that's when you had the tight ends running wide ass open. Like, we don't play zone well at all. We playing Tampa 2, and you got Bobby Wagner screaming up the seam, and who's covering the tight end? Nobody? Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. So, like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. You try to play zone. I do know this. When Joe decided to blitz, we were effective tonight. The problem is I didn't think he blitzed enough, and he didn't blitz early enough. He waited too late because he wanted to see if the 4-man pressure shit was legit from last week, and I get that. And so you needed to get enough of a sample size, and I felt like he started to go to more pressure in the third quarter. He gave it the whole 4-man pressure thing the first half. It didn't work. They had all the time in the world. He did whatever he wanted to do. And then so he went to more. That's why they basically didn't score in the third quarter. I think they kicked the field goal, right? It was 17-3 at the end of 3. They scored 3 points in the third quarter. It wasn't because we controlled the offense. Matter of fact, I'm actually curious. What was time of possession in this game? It felt like they lapped us 3 times time of possession wise. And the crazy part was Green Bay was the team that had the penalties in this game. And we still couldn't do shit about it. Time of possession. Oh, they beat us by 5 minutes. That's not as bad as I thought it was. This felt like 8 to 10 minutes of time of possession difference. But yeah, Joe just got to strike a balance. That's all. Like, he wants to play man, and I get it because we're not a good zone team. You saw that tonight. We're not a good zone team. So you saw it last week even. Like, we're not a good zone team. So I get why he wants to play man, but you got to figure out, and you might need to blitz a little bit more. And in these situations, you play against a lesser, like against the Raiders, I think you can get pressure with just 4. I do. I don't think, and you're going to need it because Brock Bowers, you want to be able to dedicate some guys to Brock Bowers. You don't want him being one-on-one with nobody. But against better offensive lines and teams with quarterbacks that can, survey the field and deal, you're probably gonna need to bring some pressure and just let the results be what they are. But tonight, waiting as long as he did to get pressure, it sucked because we were behind the 8 ball by that point. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy JP writes, torn Achilles for Eckler. His career is done. I said the same thing, man. We on the same page. It sucks. At this point of his career, that's the worst injury he could possibly have. He's done. And you could see in his face. I felt bad for Dietrich too, because he was boo-hooing, man. I mean, he was just boo-hooing. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up with rights. Ertz and Debo showed up tonight at least. They did. And they were 2 guys that were on the good list, the silver lining list, if you will. I agree. That's 2 weeks in a row. They've been really good. We're going to need them, right? Frank McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Frank writes, double up. Thank you for doubling up first and foremost. My guy, Frankie baby. Lou Lattimore looks like an aging corner tonight. He did. Some of that was circumstance too. Credit Green Bay for targeting him, like running him around, and like they knew what they were doing. He had to grab receivers to keep up, maybe move to safety in his future, maybe, but it won't be here. Like he has to play well to get his money for next year. They're gonna cut him. I think it would be in our best interest to be looking over the cornerback market next year in the draft, right? A lot of people think we need to draft a receiver in the first round next year. Maybe that's the case, but I also think we should be in the market for a corner to match and pair with Trey Amos next year. So that's and that doesn't have to be a first round pick. We got Trey in the second round, and he's outstanding. So we'll see. Tino TV, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tino writes, "Is Frankie Louvu on the team?" Yeah, he was quiet, but he had a pressure tonight. He had a blitz down when they were in their own end zone, and Jordan Love was forced to pretty much throw it away. Him and Bobby Wagner both blitzed and got in there, and Louvu was the one that got there first. They credited Bobby Wagner, but it was really Louvu who got there first. So he was around tonight. He was better than he was last week. I can say that. I saw him around the football tonight. He's not making the plays that we're accustomed to seeing him make, at this point. Jason Rogers, Uncle Jay, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, "It's week 2, but this win would have been nice." It would have been. And I talked about it. Like the pseudo bye hits different when you get the win. It does. This extra time doesn't feel good now. Doesn't feel great. C. Yerke, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show C. Yerke some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad, C. Yerke. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CGM87 writes, "Lattimore, Timu Norman." Chill, bro. Chill. What's with the soft zone BS again? I thought that was out the door with the last staff. It wasn't soft zone. He was just playing off. That's his choice. Some coverages, all right, let me just say this. Some coverages require you to play 5-by-1, right? 5 yards off, 1 yard outside, shading outside, right? So some coverages require you to play 7-by-1. 7 yards off, 7 yards, 1 yard shaded inside. If you got leverage, right? You play into your leverage or whatever. But a lot of times, if you're playing man, that is totally up to you where you line up 5 yards off, 7 yards off in the receiver's face. That's optional. That's up to you. That's based off of your skill level, your confidence in your ability to cover someone, your speed, etc. They did a great job of playing with Lattimore to the point where he was running in motion and he had to be off. Because you got to run across all of this traffic. You can't run through all of this shit. You can't run in front of the linebackers and the other guys that have jobs to do. You got to run behind them. So, he was put at a disadvantage. And they took advantage of it. Again, you got to give them credit too. They give them credit too. Not Timu Norman. Daniel Jones, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Daniel Jones writes, "Cliff was 1-3 in Thursday games as a head coach, and it shows. He is clearly not prepared on Thursday nights. This is Thursday night behavior. I figured it out. Ask the mob. I put it in all caps at halftime. I said, oh, shit. I figured it out. Him and Jaden, they need preparation. That's why Cliff, is up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Jaden's at the facility at 5:30. He's sending Jaden plays at 6 o'clock in the morning. And they are made for one another in that they are big on preparation. And you can tell when Cliff is prepared because the shit just looks different. We were prepared last week. We just didn't execute. Well, we were prepared. We weren't prepared tonight. We weren't prepared last year on Thursday Night Football against the Eagles. You can tell there's a stark difference between a Cliff handcrafted game plan and some shit he threw together the night before. You can tell the difference. And every time we play on Thursday, it looked like some shit he threw together the night before. On the team plane, he put this shit together. And it looked like the rest of the players had no idea of what the plan was, or they just went vanilla, like it was a preseason game. Now, I don't want to show anything. There was no creativity tonight. None. Not all the shit we saw, the motions and all the shit we saw with Debo. We didn't see any of that tonight. None of it. Kevin, the PRF. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, early's in, at least I had Kraft in fantasy football. Well, that benefited you. Hey, get a win somewhere. Get a win somewhere. All right? Get a win somewhere. We weren't the only one that lost a big one tonight. Looks like the Packers wide receiver, Jaden Reed, fractured his collarbone tonight. He might be out. He might be out tonight, the rest of the season too. So, yeah, we weren't the only one, but yeah, it was a rough night. Let's get to these early soups. Oh shit, there's a lot of these hoes. Wowzers. All right, well, let me put these joints up on the screen and let's have at it. All right. Let's see. Let's do it. I guess we can go this way with it. Take Kevin the PRFs off the screen. Kinchlow. Oh, let's turn it this way. That's better. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Kinchlow writes, Commanders fans talking sophomore slump, shaking my head. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, we talking sophomore slump after one game. That's wild. But I'm not surprised. This fan base is wild, bro. We don't know how to handle any adversity. We like Caleb Williams. A lot of our fans are like Caleb Williams. They don't know how to handle any adversity. Shit starts going south. The mere sight of any danger, and dudes are bolting for the exits. Oh, we suck again. Get rid of this dude. I'm like, whew, man, you guys are a piece of work. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Yoshi, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, Lou, what a nightmare. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Defense horrible, bad coaching, bad QB play, no one getting open, injuries to every single key player. This was a wake-up call. We're not close. And I couldn't disagree with this more, right? Like, that's not what I gathered from this. Defense was not horrible tonight. It wasn't good enough, but it wasn't horrible. Like, again, everything with this fan base is extreme, right? There's no middle. There's just ends of spectrums. You either extremely happy we just won, or you're extremely, negative. We lost. We suck. We're horrible. Like, you can't ride that roller coaster. I won't. I refuse to get on that roller coaster ride with y'all. I'm not. The coaching wasn't great tonight. I don't disagree with that. The QB play wasn't good tonight. It wasn't. Jaden was not good tonight. But again, this is Thursday night behavior for him and Cliff. That's what I'm chalking this up to. No one was getting open. I don't know that to be true. Can't make that statement. Not going to perpetuate that narrative because I don't know that to be the case, right? Injuries to every single, first of all, we had two guys go down. They weren't like, they're key players, but they're not like the best players on the team. Like, I would like to know what's going on with John Bates. This wasn't a wake-up call to me. This was just, hey, y'all got work to do. Okay, it's week 2. It's week 2. It's week 2. Rush is variety. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, really tough game. Showed that we have work to do. Be one of the top 5. Yep, we got work to do to be one of the top 5 teams in the league. Still so much faith. It's only week 2. That's where I'm at with mine. It takes time. No need to freak out. Exactly. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. If you thought that this was going to be this easy, linear, like DQ said last year, if you think this is going to be this easy, linear path to success, then God bless you. Because that ain't how this shit works. It's ups and downs. It's ebbs. It's flows. Tonight was one of those downs. It's one of those, valleys. It's peaks. It's valleys. Today was a valley. It's a pretty deep valley because you also lost players in the midst of all of this, but shit happens, right? Christopher McLaughlin, thank you for being a member for 11 months, who writes, hey, Lou, hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise. Rough game, but if Gabe makes all of his field goals, it's a 3-point game with Daniels having the ball with 1:47 left and a chance to tie or win the game. Thoughts? Again, we don't know how the game would have went. It felt like the Packers kind of put it on cruise control once they were up 17. So I can't sit here and tell you that the game would have been 3-point deficit with us having the ball if he makes his field goals. What I can say is, had he made those field goals, it would have changed the way the game went for both sides. Whether that would have helped us or hurt us, I can't say. Maybe the Packers floor it and continue to be aggressive like they were in the first half, and maybe they score more points and this is not even close. Or maybe we gain some momentum. And I just wanted to put real game pressure on the Packers. I said the same thing about Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game. And we were this close to putting game pressure on them. And the one time we put game pressure on the Green Bay Packers tonight, they responded with the drive for the touchdown to go up 2 scores. So I got to give them credit. But I really just, if we would have made some of those field goals earlier in the game, it would have put significant game pressure on them. And us not making a field goal before the half, like being down 8 at halftime as opposed to 11 and getting the ball coming out would have been such a morale boost. Like, bro, we played like shit in the first half and we're down 1 score. And then Debo comes out and has this significant kick return. It would have changed everything. It would have changed everything. But he didn't make the kick. So, yeah, it just sucks. I'll just say that. It sucks when, guys who have 1 job to do, or 2, it's 2 jobs to do, kick the ball off and kick it through the uprights. It sucks when a guy that doesn't have a ton to do doesn't do his job. That sucks. JP, thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 19 months. Who writes, what an embarrassment. Quinn was outcoached. Defense looked like ass. Matt Gay needs to be deported to Canada. Offense was trash all night. And Connolly and Lattimore stunk. It's a bit harsh on the Connolly. Like, he's young. We shouldn't be having these conversations about Connolly next year, right? Even maybe later on this year, you hope to not be having the same conversations about Connolly. But he's a puppy. He's a puppy. Yeah, the rest of this looks accurate. Like, I don't have anything to add to that. Like, it all looks legit. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, this was a wake-up call. We're just not there yet, mentally and talent-wise. That includes JD5. A discussion needs to be had about his mentality. Smiling like a dog in bad situations. That NFC chip dance was a warning flag. Yeah, look, Yoshi, I don't know what to say to you, bro. Because you be having some of the wildest takes. Straight up. Like, I'm not, you one of those people that want somebody to be in people's face when you, like, that's not his demeanor. You asking him to be something he's not. The man is out here having fun. That's the way he plays the game. That's when he's at his best, when he's having fun. You want him to be in here screaming at the top of his lungs like Tom Brady because shit ain't. don't like, you can't ask people to react to situations the way you would react to situations. That's not his mentality. That's not his personality. You can't ask him to be you. You want to be yelling at people or going crazy when shit ain't going well, or sitting in the corner mad with your face looking crazy because things aren't going well. That's not him. That's not how he plays the game. So you can't ask him to be something that he's not. There's no red flag here. I told you in the mob chat, if it comes down to choosing Jaden or you already know what it is, bro. I love you like a play cuz. Pace. Like, we got a quarterback for the first time since Sonny Jurgensen, since Joe Theismann. Let's not go that far back. Joe Theismann. And you think it's a red flag because he's having fun? Come on, Yoshi, man. Get out of here. Trey Fryer. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Trey Fryer writes, hey, Lou. Damn, where's Louvu? A lot of people looking for him, man. A lot of people looking for him. He wasn't terrible tonight. It's just we're used to him being more impactful, right? And you know what I really think? You know, I'm gonna give you my real thoughts right now on Frankie Louvu. There are more pieces for Joe Witt Jr. to play around with right now. And so Frankie's trying to figure out where he fits in all of this. And Joe Witt is too, right? So much emphasis has been placed on this D-line, and you're seeing so much go on. Like, when Frankie was at his best, he was just mugging the A-gap and blitzing. They're using Frankie off the edge and all of that stuff, but they're not asking Frankie to rush off the edge a ton. They're asking him to run these games, these twists and these stunts. They're asking him to do things we didn't ask him to do last year. We asked him to line up at edge rusher and rush off the edge. We asked him to mug the A-gap and blitz, and we just asked him to be a playmaker. This year, we're asking him to be disciplined, and you got to eat up blockers to allow somebody else to get to the quarterback, this, that, and the third. And I think they're still trying to figure out, again, it's early in the season. Remember, DQ talked about this on the offensive side. Like, you still trying to develop roles for everybody. That goes for Frankie Louvu too. Like, they're trying to figure out where everybody fits into the grand scheme of things in this defense. And that goes for Louvu as well. So I think it's going to take a little while. Give it another week or two. I really think this little, pseudo bye might be really beneficial to, Joe Witt Jr. in terms of helping him kind of figure out a better way to get Frankie Louvu involved. So anyhow, I digress. Oh, sorry. We weren't done with that. He says, Louvu, Lattimore ain't getting it done. I thought Joe Witt called soft calls. We can't guard guys in motion. Yeah, there's ways you can handle that. We didn't do a good job of handling that. And again, it's week 2. You learn these things. Remember last year we had issues with certain things early in the season, and we were able to learn from the things that, like, remember, we couldn't stop a screen to save our life the first 2 weeks of the season. Remember that? And so they got better at it. They got reps, and then they figured out, okay, this is how we're going to play this, yada, yada, yada. Like, it's certain things that, you just need reps, live bullets. You get some film, and now you can make adjustments. And, they're going to make adjustments. Lattimore had a rough go of it tonight. Don't throw him in the trash, guys. Jesus. He had a rough night. He played well last week. You ready to throw him in the trash after one game? Like, let's see what he's got, man. Tonight was rough. Also, you got to give Green Bay credit. They had that man running all around the field like a chicken with his head cut off. You got to give him an opportunity to fail. Like, he failed tonight. Well, give him another opportunity to fail. And another one. And another one. Because guess what? What's the alternative? You going to put Jonathan Jones in the game? You want Noah Igbenogany in the game? Ain't no corners walking around on the streets that's going to come in here and start for us and play good football. If there were, he would already be on the Eagles roster. Okay? I don't know what y'all think this is. I feel like all about the Benjamins right now, right? Remember, Buckham wanted way more money on these bounty deals that he was getting, and the dude stroke him the check after he bought in little J ass, right? And he was like, oh shit, let me put that new Bentley on. He said, Bookham, I don't know what you're looking for here, bro. Like, I don't know what you think this is. All right. But he said, if you stop buying $500 effing exotic fish that are going to die in a week anyway, maybe you'd have enough money to put that Bentley on, lease that Bentley, right? I don't know what y'all think this is, bro. I really don't. Y'all think corners grow on trees? Y'all think every team out there has 2 legitimate corners locking shit down? Y'all must think that's the case. Look around the league. Most teams got one corner and the other one, you just got to try to get by. I don't know what y'all expecting. Like, no, he wasn't good tonight. He was good last week, though. The man's damn near 30. I've said this many a times. The cornerback position is no country for old men. And he's had injuries. And I don't know if he'll ever be what he once was. That ship pretty much has sailed. But Marshawn Lattimore at 65, 70% is still better than 100% of Benjamin St. Juste, 100% of Michael Davis, and 100% of Emmanuel Forbes. I don't know what y'all want. You got to pick your poison. I mean, that's all I got for you, honestly. I don't know what y'all want. You want to get rid of him? Okay, fine. Who you putting in the game? Who you putting in the game? Corin Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Corin Smith, thank you for being a member of the MOBB rights. Lou, did Green Bay just give the league the playbook? I don't think so. Again, it was Thursday night. Did they give the league the Thursday night behavior playbook? Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. Did they give the league? Oh, so just play zone. Everybody can play zone, and everybody has Micah Parsons. Yep. Yeah, that's the playbook. Everybody should be able to do what the Packers did tonight. Play zone. Rush Micah Parsons on obvious passing downs. Don't run the football and don't have any kind of real offensive game plan whatsoever. That's the playbook, and it should work. I'm not trying to be an asshole, Corin Smith, but no. They didn't give the league anything. That's a lazy narrative. You want to run with it, knock yourself out. I'm not participating in that shit. Lorenzo Simpson. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Bill needs more carries early. Lord have mercy. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that felt that way. The play calling was trash tonight. Yes, it was. Connolly Jr. may not be ready, and Matt Gay sucks. And you know what? Connolly Jr. may not be ready, but there's no turning back now. Leave him out there. Let him get these battle scars. Yeah, Wiley would have been the better option tonight. That's clear. Wiley would have been the better option. But this young fella is a part of our future. He is a first-round pick, and they're going to ride with this dude. Come hell or high water. And maybe he'll end up being a failed first-round pick, but we got to find out. And the best way to do that is to just let him play. Let him play. Matt Gates definitely sucks. I'm over him. And y'all know I'm usually the guy that tries to be the voice of reason for kickers. He's ass. Take command for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, positive spin. We don't have to play Parsons again. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't get, I don't take solace in that, but yes, that is definitely a silver lining. In the regular season, I expect to see these guys again in the postseason. Bad coaching, play calling, sloppy execution. Glad we have 10 days rest. We need it. Boy, do we need it. Physically, mentally, yeah, we need it. We definitely need it. CGM 87. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, D was as bad as I expected. Connolly awful. Lattimore and Gay bums. Fire tap. Pathetic. And the Eck injury just awful. Wit in the dumbass soft zone. Shaking my head. I mean, we played more man tonight than we did zone. But again, I mean, again, go off. Y'all go off. Y'all go off. Like I said, y'all, it don't matter what the man do, y'all gonna complain regardless. He plays zone, we should play man. He play man, we can't be running in motion. Well, damn, what do you want the man to do? Y'all gotta pick a struggle, is what you gotta do. Pick a struggle. You can't complain about zone coverage. We don't play it well. Then they go in man, they running Lattimore ragged, and you want to complain. Pick a struggle, man. And again, and I'm not fussing at you. I'm just talking in generalities. You're not the only person complaining about soft zone, which we didn't play a ton of tonight, by the way. We're just not good at zone coverage. Ethan Dykes. Let me go back. Okay, it's not going to go any bigger than this. I still believe, Lou. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes. I still believe, Lou. We shouldn't be like, this is what I hate with this fan base sometimes. We shouldn't have to say, I still believe in week 2 at 1-1. Like, you're not going to hear shit like that come out of my mouth. Because that would require me to be thinking in the mindset of, oh, we suck. I shouldn't have to convince you to still believe in a 1-1 team. Like, what are we doing right now, folks? Y'all got to learn how to conduct yourselves in defeat. We lost. Look, I get it. The score could have been a lot worse. We lost by 9 points tonight. We lost by 9 points tonight. And our field goal kicker missed 2 kicks tonight. Our offense was as-tastic, and we lost by 9 points tonight. We played about as poorly as you could, and we lost by 9 points tonight. And half of y'all want to throw the season in the trash. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys and gals? What are we doing right now? Can somebody explain to me what is going on that Ethan Dykes has to say, I still believe? And I'm not talking to you, Ethan. You're saying that based off of how other people are reacting, and you have to be the voice of reason. It's just crazy that you even have to say that. But a lot of exposing happened tonight. Cliff and JD seem to struggle against heavy zone and too high. Packers and Eagles give the blueprints. Also, we lost our aggression. Again, I don't think anybody's given any blueprints of any sort. All right. I don't think that's the case. Now, I will say the too high shell is problematic for a lot of quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes struggles against too high shell because he wants the big play. But Jaden Daniels, again, the Packers, I talked about this, they're a fast defense. So him using his legs wasn't as impactful tonight. That's a big part of what we do. That's a big part of what Jaden does. Is when shit breaks down, he's supposed to be able to be the great equalizer or the difference maker. He couldn't do that tonight. Some of it of his own volition. But Cliff has to help out with better play calling. They got to run the football. You can't just say, all right, Jaden, it's your show. This was bad play calling. 101, right? Thursday night behavior. I don't know how many more times I need to say it, but it was Thursday night behavior. Shout out to Kevin the PRF for grabbing those early supers. Really, truly do appreciate you, my guy. Just Andre, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Just Andre writes, Noah Brown can kick rocks. I'm done with him. Yeah, he had a rough night tonight, but you don't need to be done with him, okay? He was just as good last week as he was bad this week. So, first of all, you got to know what you can ask Noah Brown to do. This whole notion that Noah Brown goes up and when's the last time you seen Noah Brown catch a contested pass? Ooh, Oh, me. Call on me. In Washington? Yes, in Washington. Oh, me. Oh. Yes, you. Never. I've never seen him do it. Yet we keep throwing him contested passes down the field like he's like that. You know why? Because nobody else on this team is tall. So you feel like, well, he's got a size advantage. So we're going to try to throw him the football in a 50-50 situation. That's why we need to get us a real receiver with height and size and length, that can attack the football in the air. That guy doesn't exist here. The only thing Noah Brown is good for down the field is forcing a pass interference, which he has not done to this point this season. It's still young. But we keep throwing it to him down the field. He ain't came down with one of them shits yet. And he's not going to. He ain't built like that. His job is to sit down in zone coverage, run that damn dig route in that post, that little skinny post, get inside the defender, use his frame to box that guy out and catch the football with his body. Every now and again, he'll pluck the bitch out of the air with his hands. But all of that ain't going towards the sideline. We ain't seen him make a great catch towards the sideline yet, except for the time he almost caught that ball, and that's the one that he hurt his kidneys on. Everything that he does successfully is breaking in towards the middle of the football field. So why are we running routes with him towards the sideline? Why are we throwing him? Why is Jaden throwing a 50-50 ball to Austin Eckler down the sideline? Like, this shit makes no sense. Everybody was off tonight. Everybody was off. Leave Noah Brown alone. I said all of that to say this. Leave Noah Brown alone. He serves a purpose here. Okay. He blocks. He can catch the football. You just got to put him in the right. We didn't put him in good situations tonight. I don't ever want to see Noah Brown on a comeback again. I don't. He wasn't good in the comeback game last year. He's not good in the comeback game. Don't throw comebacks to Noah Brown. No one's afraid of his speed. When's the last time we saw Noah Brown run by somebody? Ooh, I know. Yes, you again. Never? You're correct. Not here in the Washington Commanders uniform. Our guy, man. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, see y'all next year. You'll be back. You'll be back. The Dubs family. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, gay is gay. Can they get him out of here? Yeah, this to me feels a lot like Cade York last year. Except they can't recoup a pick, so they didn't have to move on as quickly. They had more invested in him, so they held on to him a bit longer. But this feels like, all right, we got some time now early in the season. We're not going to allow him to tank our season. I will be shocked if they don't bring in some sort of competition over the next 3 days. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, man, where's Kai Forbath? I don't care. Call John Hall. Hey, you gotta let the 2000s go, bro. Like, you got like seriously let the 2000s go, right? We in the 2020s. You gotta let the 2000s go, bro. You gotta let them go. DJ 23. Been a member for 31 months. Who writes, not mad, just disappointed how we came unprepared. Me too. I was disappointed tonight. I'm not angry. Green Bay's a good football team. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. But now, I took solace in understanding what this is. This is Thursday night behavior. This is Thursday night behavior. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm more upset and angry with the injuries than I am the performance, because this is who we are on Thursday nights with a short week. We don't prepare well. We're not ourselves. It's like we're hungry on Thursday. We're not ourselves when we're hungry. Grab a Snickers. We're not ourselves on a short week. We'll be better against the Raiders next week. It just sucks because you got to sit with this shit stewing in your craw for the next, 10 days. We'll be a lot better against the Raiders. Not that the Raiders are a great team, but guess what? Most of the teams you play on your schedule aren't great teams. That's how you build a 12, 13 win season. You beat up on the little sisters of the poor, or you beat up on the teams that you're better than. You find a way to win those games. And then you got to find a way to, split the games with the teams that are good on your schedule. We still have a chance to do that. So, DMV representative, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Joe and Cliff were out-coached and out-schemed. Yep. Bill only having 4 carries with straight-up malpractice. Yep. Cliff had JD5 and empty way too much. Yep. Check, check, and check. You got it. You got it. Dirty Joker, 12. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, what's up, Lou? What's up, Dirty Joker? Been watching you for over 8 years, and you've kept it real from the beginning. But when will the staff realize Laddie needs to be cornerback too? And do you think we make a signing after tonight? I don't think they do anything. The only thing I think so here's what, the landscape of everything looks like. They may go outside of the organization for a defensive end with the Dietrich Wise injury. I don't see them doing anything at running back because they already had C-Rod on the active roster, 53-man, and you have Donovan Edwards on the practice squad. So I don't see them going outside of the organization to do anything for running back. I could see them exploring some options outside of the organization for edge rusher, or defensive end. Although, to me, you want me to be honest with you? Call Jalen Holmes and bring him back. That's what I would do. Go get Jalen Holmes, and you can start him at defensive end. I have no issues with Jalen Holmes starting at defensive end. Bring him back, put him on the roster, and Jalen Holmes will finish out the season for us as our Dietrich Wise. But I could see them exploring options at defensive end and kicker. I don't see them doing anything else. They're not doing anything at corner. They're not panicking like the fans are. Fans panic. Your job as an evaluator, as a GM, is to let things play out until they have already played themselves out all the way and you've seen enough. I can't evaluate anything in 2 weeks. Definitively. I can have my hunches. Like, Trey Amos looks like he's legit. Definitively, I can't say that 2 weeks in. I feel really good about saying that, though. Conversely, Josh Connolly Jr., he's not going to be an elite tackle in this league. I can't say that definitively, not after 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. But I have a hunch. That doesn't mean he can't be a very good tackle in this league, and I think he can be. I told you the same thing about Brandon Coleman last year, and you guys told me I was crazy. I told you that after 1 week. He's a guard. You guys, how do you know that, Louie? You can't know that. Because I've watched enough football. You know elite when you see it. It don't take you long to identify when a guy is like that. And that's okay. Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Man writes, with Scott Turner calling plays, Joe Barry our DC? Just Andre. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, if Cliff gives 26 more runs than Bill, he got to go. Yeah, this is again, you got to pick a struggle. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to live in a world where y'all think that Bill isn't your best running back. You could sell us on Eck being more versatile, this, that, and the third, and he does so many things. Yeah, okay. You can sell us on that. Eck's no longer here. You can't sell us on C-Rod. You can't sell us on J-Mac, you can't sell us on anybody else on the roster being a more viable option than Bill at this point. So put him in. Put him in and give him touches. Rolando Cedeno, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, 2 weeks in a row, Louie does know the season started, right? And again, this is what we've done with him. We put him up on a pedestal, rightfully so, I may add. And he set an expectation of what his performance is supposed to be. It's similar to Jaden Daniels in this fact that last week we complained about over 300-yard total offense performance by Jaden because it wasn't up to the standard we set for him. Like, we've seen him play so well that wasn't up to the standard. Frankie set a standard last year of what it's supposed to look like, and he hasn't met that standard in 2 weeks. I get it. But I said this already. Y'all got to give him time to get acclimated in this defense and give Joe Witt Jr. An opportunity and a chance to figure out where Frankie fits in all of this. Because clearly the way you utilized Frankie last year was the best usage of him. But you got different pieces now. And how does that jive with what you're doing up front with the defense? So again, sometimes the what you do for the good of the group is at the detriment of a player the caliber of a Frankie Louie. Because now, like Frankie, I don't want to say he was out of structure and wild last year, but they really minimized what they asked him to do. They didn't ask him to do a lot of shit, you know. Rush up the A-gap, rush off the edge as a pass rusher, drop into coverage every now and again like he did against the Eagles when he picked off the pass, and then just be a Tasmanian devil and just run and go tackle. Like, that's not what they're asking him to do right now. And so there's a lot of moving parts. Just, again, give him just a little more time. Let's see what he does. And his production will surely grow. Give him some time, man. I get it. Y'all, we live in this microwavable society. Y'all want it now. J.G. Wentworth style. It's my money and I want it now. Sometimes shit takes time. You know? You got new pieces. You're figuring everything out. Sometimes shit just takes time. All right, so we're going to get a word from Sleeper very quickly, come back on the other side, and we're going to clean up the rest of these comments and get out of here.
Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all of your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat in the games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips. Play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right. So I just saw something from John Kime where he said Jaden Daniels was pressured on 46% of his dropbacks, the highest percentage he's faced in his 19 regular season games. So according to some of y'all, that's the blueprint. Just pressure him. When last year, if you blitz Jaden Daniels, if you pressured him, he hurt you. So which one is it? Or is it just that the Packers are just that good? Sometimes y'all just got to give credit to the opponent. That's okay too, you know. We just got beat by a better team tonight. I told y'all, I'm okay when we get beat by a better team. The thing I'm not okay with is we didn't even come with an A-game type of game plan, right? We didn't come with a real plan. It just looked like we just showed up.
I can live with the fact that the Packers, they're just better than us right now. They were better coached. They were more prepared. They were the better team. It's nights like this where I also feel like the lack of athleticism, like we looked and felt like a 30, average age of 29 years old team, the oldest in the league. We felt like that tonight. It's not going to be like that every week, but we were playing against the youngest team in the NFL, so they ran circles around us. Doesn't that make sense? Yes or no? Quick week, quick turnaround. You got all these old-ass dudes smelling like Geritol and Ben Gay on a quick turnaround, whereas these young boys that bounce back from a game on Sunday are ready to go again. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't make me say some crazy shit on this stream. It's getting late. It's 2:15 in the morning. Don't make me say some crazy shit on this stream, man. Let me get out of here before I say some wild shit. Drinkable Measy. I'm still on probation. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Drinkable Measy writes, been a while. But man, did it feel like we were not prepared? It did. It definitely did. Absolutely it did. DMV representative. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Good to hear from you once again, too, Drinkable Measy. It has been a while. Lattimore honestly didn't play bad. Joe was just out-schemed, and so he was in a lot of bad situations and positions. He played bad tonight. But you're not wrong either. Like, it's a combination of two. He didn't play well. Like, on a play where we actually got pressure on the quarterback, you grabbed Savion Williams and hold him. Was Joe putting him in a tough spot there? Or was he just too damn old and got caught flat-footed with a dude running by him and he had to reach out and grab him on a play where we got to stop? It wasn't like a third down stop or whatever, but we forced an incompletion. We got to Jordan Love, and it's negated because you couldn't just turn and run with a young fella. That ain't Joe Witt putting him in a bad spot. That's just him not playing good football. He wasn't good tonight. And it's okay to say that. He's not going to be good every week. Trey Amos isn't going to be good every single week. Guess what? That doesn't make him a bad player. I said that's the problem with a lot of fans is it's one end of the spectrum or the other. There's no middle ground. There's no in between. Either a guy is really good or he's ass. And that's crazy. It really, truly is. It's crazy. But Joe did put him in some tough spots tonight. Kinchlow, been a member for 9 months. Really appreciate you, writes. What's good, Lou? I had 2 early supers. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't help you. I'm going to check my Twitter and see if I read all of the. So I read your first one already, which is Commanders fans talking sophomore slump. Shaking my head. Read that already. So that's 1 if you had 2. And okay. Shout out to the legendary Miss P. There may be more here. All right. So let's see. Yeah, there's more here. So, all right. I don't see another super from you, but I already read one from you. So let me get in the let me pull this back up, turn this sumbitch sideways, and stick it in your candy asses. Pause. I kid. Relax. All right. Well, I guess turning it sideways doesn't really help us on this one now, does it? All right. So stand up. Jacqueline, Guerrera, Tigeress, Ford, Joko World, and Ryan Edwards are all new members of the MOBB. Stand up. Y'all are in the building, mob. You know what it is. Show all of them some love. Welcome them with open arms. Welcome to the squad. Wish we were welcoming you either back to or into for the first time the mob under better circumstances. But nonetheless, glad to have you on board. DJ, let's turn you sideways. I think that's actually going to benefit us here. Turn you sideways, DJ. And I can actually go down here with it. Piss poor offensive game plan. The defense wasn't any better, but hey, we'll rebound against the Raiders, I hope. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. That's all you can hope for. Is they'll play better. I got confidence. They've built up enough equity with me to where they get the benefit of the doubt with certain situations. This is one of those situations where I realize they're just not very good in these situations. Okay. I get it. I get it. And that's okay. They're allowed to not be good in this situation. That's okay. All right. Let's go here. Or, yeah, no, let's do this. Click on it. Zoom in. Caprice 6 or Caprisa 6. Stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Glad to have you on board. Tigeress 4. Thank you for being a member of the mob, who writes, and thank you for the super chat. Still have faith in the squad. Got to overcome adversity and get right. Yeah, the people that's jumping off the deep end tonight are the same people that said it's the same Redskins, same football team, same Commanders when we had the 3-game losing streak last year. You can't pay them no attention. You can't listen to them. They'll have you thinking that this team about to be a 5-win team this season. So this is when you find out who you really are in times of adversity, right? It's easy when shit is up. Everybody's happy. It's cool when you're winning. You find out who the real fans are, like the people that are level-headed. You find out about them right now. Now, I'm not going to say they're not real fans. They're just emotional. Too emotional, right? Adversity is a part of the game. If it wasn't, then the Super Bowl champion would be 17-0 every year. You wouldn't lose any games. Here's the other one, Kinchlow, right here. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Here's the other one. Poorly managed game by the refs. It's the first time I heard somebody complain about the refs. Late. Oh, you're right. I said, man, if they hit my quarterback late, one more, man, they were hitting the shit. Now, this is the thing I respect. They were letting shit go. They just let them play football tonight. I can respect that. I wish we had these same refs in the NFC Championship game. Shit might have been different for us, but the refs let them play tonight. They hit Jaden at least 6 or 7 times, well after he threw the football. Like they were lighting his ass up. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I also don't have a problem with it. If you're gonna let them play, let them play. It's not like they were calling ticky tack shit on us, and they just let everybody play. I'm cool with that. Short week. It's one game, not time to panic, but the injuries are worrisome. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Jaden's mom's favorite player, been a member for 46 months. Salute. Who writes, make Gay walk home. He already said, put the loss on me. This is my fault. That sounds good. That's what kickers say when they miss kicks, but that shit ain't getting it done, bro. That don't nobody really care to hear that shit. All right, we've read the rest of these. All right, no, we didn't. This I read these right here though. What a nightmare, bad coaching. This is a wake-up call. I read Rush's Variety. It's a really tough game. Show we have work to do to be one of the top 5. Read that one. And I read the Commanders fans talking sophomore slump, shaking my head. We addressed that already. But I don't remember this Bilbo Baggins one here. I read these two already too. So I think, yep, I read all of these. So yeah. Only one I don't remember is Bilbo Baggins. So let's go ahead and look at this one. Bilbo Baggins. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, It's not a sophomore slump. It was a rough game, but for now, let's shelve the MVP and Super Bowl talk and get back to the standard. We're better than this. I don't disagree with that. I'm still on the MVP shit, but this like, if you want to win MVP, these are the moments where you got to step up when everybody's watching. But he's got plenty of time to make people forget about this performance, right? You don't win the MVP in week 2. I've seen guys come out of the gates, guns a-blazing. Russell Wilson so many times start off the season red hot. Everybody's got him first half of the season as league MVP and then fizzles out at the end. It's what you're doing at the end. We're going to be a much better team in November and December and January than we are in September. But we got to, again, this next stretch of games is pivotal. You got to beat the Raiders at home, and you got to go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons. You got to get to 3-1 because shit gets real after that. Chargers, you got to find a way to beat the Bears at home. I don't know what the Bears are going to be by the time we see them, but that's a team you can beat at home, right? But the Chiefs are coming up, the Lions are coming up. Like, there's some heavy hitters coming up. Dallas in week 7, like, they're always a problem for us, and that one's on the road. So you gotta start 3-1, and that's what I had us doing anyway. But you know how it is. You're a fan. You win week 1, and you start feeling confident. Man, after the Packers, we can beat them. I had us losing this game when I did the schedule. Every time except for when I finally actually sat down. Like, I knew this was a tough ask. Short week, Lambeau. That's a good pack. And that was before they had Micah Parsons. But it's okay if you want to shelve the MVP talk. I'm not. I still think 5, like, this ain't 5. This is Thursday night behavior. This ain't the real 5. That wasn't the real Cliff Kingsbury tonight. That's Thursday night behavior. That's Thursday night behavior. So I'm not shelving the MVP or the Super Bowl talk. But if I were to shelve something, it would be the Super Bowl talk. Especially when these injuries starting to hit. We got to recalibrate and see what we're about. But that's not a bad take, Bilbo Baggins. That's not a bad take. Like, let's just get back to the standard. Let's do that. Maybe we need to get back to being aggressive again. What were we, 2 for 2 on 4th down tonight? I know one of them I think we got via penalty, so we might have just been 1 of 1 on 4th downs. We didn't go for any 4th downs last week. Oh, we were 1 of 3. That's right. End of the game shit. That's right. 1 of 3. End of the game shit. So, yeah. Maybe we need to go back to being aggressive. I don't know. But, we'll see, right? Drinkable Measy. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, do you think we should keep Brown? Noah? Yeah, why wouldn't we? DMV representative. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Thursday night football is such a money grab. The product is always trash. It's not always trash. It's not the best product in the world. It is absolutely a money grab. The NFL has essentially acknowledged the fact that it is, but the players can't complain about it. That's why their salaries are what they are, right? So can't complain about it. If so, you got to give back some of the money. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBBSQUAD, who writes, I almost forgot, on to Vegas, hashtag raise hell. No, you didn't. You said it in your first super chat. The first super chat you sent, the $20 one, at the end it said on to Vegas, and I said, I needed that. Rolando Cedeno, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, who writes, Zadarius Smith signing with the Eagles is a double gut punch. Not really. He was out there for a reason. He was on that Lions team that we cooked in the playoffs. Like, we get so enamored with names. He ain't what he once was. I mean, he helps. Don't get me wrong. He was a solid football player last year, but he ain't like this destructive force or anything. Like, if he were, he would have been on the roster already. You know what I mean? It would have been nice to have him be available after the injury to, Dietrich Wise, right? Like, that's the part that sucks. And knowing that Jadeveon Clowney probably is about to sign with the Cowboys, Like the options that were available just a week ago are no longer available. Just Andre, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I get Noah doesn't do that, but you're an NFL wide receiver. I mean, again, I'm of the mindset of don't put guys in a position that doesn't allow them to thrive. We seem to be constantly doing that with Noah Brown. You know, when Noah's at his best, again, he's going towards the middle of the field. He's sitting down in zone coverage. He's making himself an available target. We haven't seen Noah Brown do anything down the field of note, right? Nothing towards the sidelines. So why put him in those positions is what I'm saying. And you gotta break tendencies. I'm aware. You can't just have him have in-breaking routes all the time. But Noah Brown running comebacks, when is he ever won on a comeback? It's not never, right? It's not never, but it's probably like 7%. And he's had at least 10, 11, 12 comebacks thrown to him in the last year in 2 games. So what did he play? 8, 9, what did he play? About 10 games last year? 2 more this year. And in that span, he's probably had a good 11 or 12 comebacks thrown to him. He might have caught 1 or 2 max. He never wins on those routes. And he doesn't win contested catches. Doug H, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Doug H writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I was upset at first, but I left feeling disappointed. The staff didn't put the players in places to succeed. Why the F is Josh Conley Jr. one-on-one with Parsons so much? That's a great question. And I hated alignment. Like this tonight's game plan felt really Eric Bieniemy-ish. This felt like a EB production. You know what I mean? Like, the hell are we doing right now? No run game. Like, you just abandon the run for no reason. Empty sets. You're not protecting your young corner. This tackle, this shit felt real EB-ish. It felt like an Eric Bieniemy production tonight. So Ninja X, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I agree with you, Doug H, that the staff didn't do the players any favors tonight. I agree. So Ninja X, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Jaden had Gen Z stare all game, didn't smile once. That's false. He was smiling the whole night. He wasn't smiling on the sidelines, but while he's in the game, he was smiling all night, which is what pissed off Yoshi, who wanted him to be upset. Raw. Be mad. We're losing. Don't smile. DJ23. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I thought Dobbs wouldn't scare King's picks. Wouldn't score King's pick. Yeah, man. Soon as Rio said, I hate picking somebody to not score because all it takes is one play, I said, you knew he jinxed it, right? You knew he did it. Like, I told him Parsons wasn't getting a sack. He had a half a sack. They needed him to get a whole sack. He didn't get a whole sack. He had a half a sack. So that didn't hit either. We'll talk about that when we get on the Kings, though. But I saw the Dobbs touchdown. All I could do is shake my head. Like, of course he would score tonight. Of course he would. Of course he did. Yeah, absolutely. Good call. Good call, So Ninja X. Doug H, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, the TE thing is sickening. LaFleur tree DQ weakness. You mean because LaFleur is from Sean McVay's tree, technically. So that would be his weakness, I guess. But whatever. LaFleur is definitely kryptonite to DQ. That's what it feels like right now. And the tight end thing is sickening. But that's been our existence for well over a decade now. So I'm just used to it. I'm numb. But I'm sick of it, though, like you are. Somebody fix it. But what I'm telling you, you're not going to fix it with Bobby Wagner at 30, 35 years old, or however old Bobby Wagner. You're not going to fix it with him. And Frankie Louvu's not a dynamic athlete down the field either. So, like, you really need, this is what you drafted Kane Madrano for. Like, next week would be a great Kane Madrano game. But again, you can't ask Kane Madrano to just come off the bench and cover Brock Bowers. You might have to dedicate, like, Bill Belichick would take his corner, like he would take Aqib Talib and put him on Jimmy Graham. Like, Jimmy Graham ain't eating today. You gonna cover him the whole game. Like, sometimes you just gotta make an adjustment and say, hey, this dude ain't hurting me. Next week would be a great time to say, you know what? Marshawn Lattimore, you covering Brock Bowers today. Wherever he go, you follow him. Take his ass out of the game. Jonathan Jones, you starting outside. And wherever Brock Bowers go, you follow him. I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, and I know he's not going to do that. But we can't have Brock Bowers running unabated through our secondary next week. That's not going to end well. Got any grapes? Been a member for 48 months. Celebrate. Tonight was rough. Packers used the same defensive formula the Eagles do. Figured we would be better prepared for it. Again, Thursday night behavior. Thursday night. I would love to see the Packers on a Sunday afternoon. I don't think it would look the same. I do not think it would look the same. But we got our asses whooped tonight. DJ23, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Read this one already. Yeah. The Dubs touchdown was crazy. Duncan Wright, been a member for 17 months. We don't need your pity. We don't need it. We took an L tonight. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Trust and believe. We'll bounce back. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I see what you were trying to do here. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, this is supposed to be yo, baby, say, oh. Again, I don't know why that makes any sense now, but okay. Ding. Good job, Duncan. Good job. Good job, Duncan. All right. Anyway, that's the last super chat of the night. We are going to get out of here. Really disappointing Thursday night, man. We built this thing up. This was a big game. We were excited. And for the second time on a Thursday night in as many years, we built up a big game, a lot at stake, and we come out and we're ill prepared. And now I know that's a thing now. No longer will I be surprised. No longer will I fall for the banana in the tailpipe when it comes to Thursday night football with this team, with Cliff Kingsbury as a play caller, with Jaden Daniels at the quarterback position. This is our kryptonite. Thursday night games, short week, preparing for a short week and a good opponent. They're not going to play us against the chopped liver, right? Minced meat on a Thursday night. We're not going to play against the Carolina Panthers on a Thursday night. That's not a game they're going to put on primetime. You're going to play a good team on a short week, and we're just not going to be prepared for that good team on a short week, especially if it's on the road. And we've been on the road each of the last 2 seasons on a Thursday night, and it didn't go well. So this is officially Thursday night behavior. I hate it here, but it's a temporary stay. So Packers get the win 27-18. And sometimes you just got to tip your cap to your opponent. They're really good. We knew that going in. We thought we would be better, and we weren't. The injuries are the thing that really stinks the most. The loss is temporary. We can bounce back next week. You're not getting Austin Eckler nor Dietrich Wise back this season. And Eckler's career is done. And Dietrich Wise was here on a 1-year deal. He's probably done here too. that sucks because I thought there was so much more that we could have gotten to. I think we knew what Eck was at this point, but there was so much more we could have tapped into with Dietrich Wise, and it just we never got a chance to. And that stinks. But anyway, I digress. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, night, whatever the case may be. We'll be back to put a bow on this very ugly performance tomorrow. Let it breathe for a little while. Watch some football over the weekend. Get this shit out of your system. We'll come back next week and we'll hit the ground running. It stinks. You hate a short week when you lose the way we just did. It's never nice. It's never fun, but it's a part of the journey. It's a part of the journey. You got to take the good with the bad. It's all a part of our journey. All right. Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Right. So Lou, why is JD5 better than Hurts? I need some good talking points against Eagles fans. If I got to explain that to you, then if I got to explain that to you, then I shouldn't be talking to you. You watch with your own eyes, right? Why do I need to give you talking points if you've watched? We've had these conversations so many times over the last year and a half. But if I have to tell you what you should be thinking in that discussion, I really don't know what to say to you. You know what I mean? Are we here? No? Yes? Maybe so? Okay. All right. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me. Your man, Louie T, here on this installment of the Command Post Live. It was a rough outing for the good guys. They'll bounce back. We'll be all right. The injuries stink. That's the worst part about this is we got to deal with this for the rest of the season. No Eckler, no Dietrich Wise. We'll see if anything's done on the defensive line to offset that loss. I don't know if there's anything you can. Like I said, I would look at a Jadeveon Clowney if he doesn't sign with Dallas. I would definitely pick up the phone and see what that looks like. But I'm more inclined to just call Jalen Holmes up and bring him back. And I think that's more along the lines of what DQ, because I don't know what Clowney's looking for. I don't know how much it would cost him. They're not trying to spend no real money. They ain't trying to spend no real money. So we'll see what they ultimately do. And I expect them to bring in some competition at kicker. I do expect that to take place. In any event, man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Wrights. But besides the eye test, they keep saying Hurts wins, blah, blah, blah. Hurts has a better team. He should win. Again, if Jaden Daniels was on the Philadelphia Eagles, what would happen? He just drug a very talent deficient team to the NFC Championship. What do you think he would do with the Philadelphia Eagles? Okay. I don't want to minimize Jalen Hurts, and I'm not going to have this conversation because I've had it too many times, and tonight's not the night for this. But when Hurts is put in situations where winning plays are required, he makes winning plays. And that's his superpower. He's a good quarterback, but he's not better than Jaden Daniels. Period. End of discussion. Anyway. Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Man, right. Just need a mic drop point, bro. They don't listen. And you're not going to say anything that's going to change their mind. So there's no mic drop point. Because they don't care. They're not trying to hear what you're talking about. You might as well go argue with a brick wall. Because that's basically what you're doing. You could tell them that in 1 year, Jaden Daniels has had more passing touchdowns in a single season than Jalen Hurts has ever had in his NFL career. They don't care, bro. So, again, why waste your time? Jalen Hurts has never thrown for 3,000 yards in his NFL career. Jaden Daniels did it in his rookie season. They don't care, bro. It doesn't matter. So save your breath is what I'm telling you. Save your breath. All right. Big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. I'll be better on the Sleeper app next time. I'm due for some wins. I'm gonna bounce back in a major way this weekend. I'm gonna get hot. I'm gonna play a couple of hands this weekend. I gotta get a dub, man. This L is not sitting well with me. I gotta get a dub this weekend. A few dubs to erase this nasty feeling right here. So I'm gonna do that. Big shout out to the Sleeper app. If you don't have it, you need to get it and download the app. The link is in the description of this video and every video that I do. Click that link. It's going to take you to where you can download the app. Make sure that Sleeper is available in your state. It's available in 25 states. Check to make sure you're on the list of available states. And if you are, download the app. Use the promo code LTN to get a 100% match on a $100 up to $100 deposit. 100% match on up to $100 deposit. You can't beat that. And as you've seen, it don't take much on this Sleeper app to put together a slew of picks that can win you some real money. Don't delay. Get the Sleeper app today. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Hey, breathe. It's okay. It's one game. We're fine. It's not the end of the world. You guys have to stop acting like the sky is falling. We lost to a good team. We didn't play well. We didn't put our best foot forward. That's disappointing. We lost some guys. That hurts. We'll be back. There's 15 more of these in the regular season, just so we're clear. I don't think any of you had us going 17-0. I do know one person had us going 20-0 this year, but that wasn't happening either. We'll be fine. You guys have a good one. Take care. I'll see you next time. Peace. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, man. Thank you for the super chat. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, bro. You'll be back. One good defensive performance and you'll come running back like you always do. Peace.